Hello, one and all, and welcome back for the final time to the EGC Masters Finals. That's right, an event with finals in it, but now it truly is the finals. I'm, of course, KP, joined by Crackety for this momentous occasion as we will be crowning a first-time ever S-tier champion here. That's guaranteed after Marine Lord went out in third yesterday.
Indeed. I mean, Puppy Paw Vortex, for either of them, there's the chance to be winning their first ever S-tier tournament. So that's pretty big for both of them. As you mentioned, like Marine Lord already out, Beastie already out, neither of them making it to the grand final. It's something that we're actually not really used to in recent times, but it's been a long time coming, right?
I mean, it had to eventually happen, right? I feel like we thought we'd be here sooner. I think especially towards the end of last year, we talked a lot about the Canadians at that point. Finally able to make it back into one of those finals, but a big hurdle in his way. Puppy Paw, of course, has already slayed the Spanish Bull once. In fact, that was what just actually allowed him to inflate to a comfortable win percentage here between the two, up like 56.5%. I mean, you see how close it was before that. I think it was a 4-2 victory for him. But it's all of a sudden thrown giant question marks on the outcome, Crackety, because I feel like for most people going to this final weekend before they saw the results yesterday, Vortex was, in a lot of people's minds, expected to breeze through everything.
Yeah, Vortex. I mean, it's what he said, right? Like, there are no more mental blocks for him at the moment. I think it kind of showed yesterday as well. Like, even though he did lose to Puppy in the top bracket, he did manage to win up against Marino. And I mean, that kind of result just kind of speaks for itself. So I want to say, like, there is a good chance, like, this could really go either way here at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a series that could easily go all the way to 9 games. Of course, reminder, folks, it is a best of 9 with a 1-game advantage for the Paw, as he did lay down the law yesterday. And, well, look at the draft already, man. I mean, what's our attention being drawn to here? Because I'm finding it more and more comical that we're seeing, like, Malian and Japanese overtaking almost everything else as the big priority picks coming out the door.
Yeah, as when it comes to priority picks, Japan apparently still very big up there for Puppy Paw at the moment. On the opposite side, Vortex, of course, with Sengoku Dynasty, both civilizations here, or rather both players, with some very, very strong cavalry civilizations under the hood, I want to say. Weirdly enough, we're seeing a lot of value being put onto Tughlaq Dynasty here for Vortex. It's his third pick in the draft. We've seen Tughlaq Dynasty a couple of times so far in this tournament. Maybe I gotta be honest, it's never really looked like that dominant to me, at least. But players are still believing in it, and every now and then you get to these situations where it's like, could this work? And maybe it's just a little bit more, cooking to be done behind the scenes, and then can really pop off.
I think it's a little bit predictable as well, right? Like, if you're generating that pick in a draft like this, you're looking at either Phrygian, Kalasan, or Golden Heights. I'm not really worried or concerned about it coming out anywhere else. But maybe this is an element of, like, strategic pick because the other person values it so highly. We saw this the other week. I think it was a Beastie series where he picked Delhi and Tughlaq. So it's like, for the water intent, I'm getting what I want either way. Which kind of variation of this do you want? Do you want the 5 spice or the 4 spice? And I think that's where it has maybe a crafty element. I also love the Macedonian pick in there. I mean, only one Civ hasn't been picked here, poor old English. Even a Bass is getting picked. But the thing about the Macedonians that I find intriguing here is I believe Puppy Paw and Wham have actually been cooking up quite a few cool strats with this Civ. Yet we're seeing it with Vortex, who last time I saw the Spaniards play this regularly, they were wholly focused on that ridiculous Ridari build.
All right, snipes are coming in, so now we see our draft for the first game here in this series. It's going to be Delhi up against the Malians on Lipany. Both Abbasid and the French have been sniped out here. Makes a lot of sense when you look at it overall. French pretty good against both Delhi and the Abbasid, so it's a pretty clean snipe, or pretty clear snipe there. And Abbasid is pretty good up against the Malians, so I think Vortex wants to take his chances up against the Delian. I don't know, this is a matchup that I want to say, like, has been 50-50, but more and more nowadays we see Malian players lean more into the sofa plays in Feudal Age. And that's where I want to give, like, a little bit more of an edge to the Malian civilization overall. It makes this transition so much smoother and actually gives them the ability to dictate game pace, at least in the Feudal Age.
Yeah, it sets you on the right road to your final formation, which is Archers, Sofa, in the Castle Age. I think, like, the interesting thing about that choice, that notion is, you look at the way that Delhi have been playing at the moment. Like there are ways they can kind of construe that and use that against you, but it involves go Spearman first. And even if you know you're up against Sofa, you want to have Ghazi, right? You want to have the ability to potentially raid. I think what makes that cool in this matchup is even though you know it's wrong to go for it, you almost have this like ego challenge effect where we're both going to go cavalry and see who's the better micro when we have to fight.
Indeed, indeed. Chat's a little bit confused in regards to the stats at the moment, but yeah, it is indeed the true score here at the moment. Puppy Paw, as he has already beaten Vortex yesterday, is getting a 1-0 score lead to boot off the series here right away.
Yep. You know, it was like I don't know. I think saying before we hopped on this could end up being a really quick day theoretically. Like this could be one of the quickest days EGC has ever had, which is funny compared to some of the days you have, Crackety. Like, was it like 10-hour streams? You might get the shortest one now to bounce out.
Yeah. It's great fun when it's like almost 3 a.m. and you're like, okay, I get 3 hours of sleep before I gotta get up to work. But I mean, when the game's warranted, then I'm always fine with it. And so far in the EGC Masters Finals, they most definitely have. Like, we've had some amazing sets, some amazing series so far between these players. I mean, just getting to a grand finals without the presence of players like Marine Lord, like Beastie, it's really something where we're now at a stage in Age of Empires 4 where the competitive scene has never been closer. And when it comes to skill, Puppy Paw versus Vortex, I can see this going either way here. And I'm honestly just so excited for it because both Vortex and Puppy Paw, they kind of bring like different dynamics to the game as well. Vortex, of course, we always know him for this super aggressive player all throughout. Puppy Paw, a little bit more lean back, you know, he takes a more macro-focused approach, but he doesn't shy away from utilizing his units to go on the aggressive as well.
No, and I think he proved that in the upper bracket finals, right? He's historically proven that. I think I referenced one of the most memorable games for me in his interview was him versus Vortex on Lipany, where Ottomans for Vortex, he had China, and he just outpost rushes in, Barbican rushes in, and I'm like, no one does this right now. He's doing it against one of the most aggressive civs. So, you know, Puppy Paw does have those signature aggressive moves. You know, of the two bros, he's always been considered to be the more aggressive party, although Wham has been leveling up there. I wholly agree with you, man. Like, it's so good for us to be in a situation where it's not just, oh, Marine Lord Beastie again. Well, let's get ready for the finals. Confetti, right? We finally start to see the robustness. There it is on a delay. We got like Puppy Paw, Vortex. You know, Lucifron had a little bit of a rough one, but we saw last tournament how he was able to take it all the way and almost win. Marine Lord Beastie still going to always be in discussion, but I think the other big one to me is like Anatan. Looking at the way the bracket played out, where Marine Lord, by the skin of his teeth, managed to beat Anatan 4-3. Right, and then Marine Lord goes on to 4-2 Beastie, and then gets 4-3'd by Vortex. You already see how close this entire echelon is, right? Where when you look back at this playoffs, you could have easily imagined one of 5 players here that could have been crowned champion.
Yeah, easily. And, you know, we've had some interesting performances here as well. I want to say, like, Wham, for example. I'm not exactly sure what happened in between. Like after the first like quarterfinals, I was like, oh my god, Wham, peak form. I'm not sure if the games versus Puppy Paw kind of deflated him, but after that, it kind of let off a little bit there. It was an unfortunate end there for him. But I'm gotta still say, like, Wham and Puppy Paw at the moment, whenever we see them play, absolute peak performance there from them. And then Vortex, you mentioned it earlier as well, like completely leveled up throughout the last 2 tournaments, and now he's showing his peak form at the moment.
Yep, I mean, I've been seeing it every single week in the KPMMs. He's like 2/3 the time the winner, and you know, most of the ones he didn't win is because he wasn't actually participating that week. So it's kind of crazy. More people taking it serious now, as they should. I mean, he's proven it. And then I agree on the Wham side. Like Wham was looking pretty damn good in those, but I think the thing with Wham is it usually starts up really well in these playoffs, and then something kind of hits, maybe a mental wall or whatever. But my feeling on it, like I see it every single time afterwards, I keep saying to myself, it's just a matter of time with this guy. You can feel it, right? Like he's starting to get the steps, he's getting the alignment better further through and through. It's just a matter of time, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it in 2026 before he thrusts those S-tier trophies.
Yeah, could very well be, but now it's only going to be 2 more minutes between us and our first game here of the Grand Finals of the EGC Masters Finals. Puppy Paw versus Vortex. I want to quickly use this time, just look at the draft here one more time, as we've got, a lot of maps here, as is, common in a best of 9 / best of 8-ish that we've got here at the moment. King of the Hill made it in, one of my favorite maps, I gotta say, in Age of Empires 4 in general. Just such an, I want to say, like, iconic map to any real-time strategy game. I think, like, we find an iteration of King of the Hill in pretty much any RTS.
Yeah, I think, like, I'm actually a big fan of the stylistic approach to the map generation, where, I know some people love their Dry Arabia, but the randomness of it, it's good balanced randomness, but you don't have that character to the map, you know what I mean? Like, Kawasan's a mixed bag, but at least when you look at it, you say, that's Kawasan. And when you look at King of the Hill, back to your point, you can tell it's King of the Hill, and it's not just kind of a gimmick in the way that it's structured, it has an impact on the way the game plays. I love it when we get maps designed that way.
Yeah, indeed. Coastal Cliffs also in there. We got that little, like, Dry Arabia with a 1/3 cutoff. Dry Arabia, of course, making its, there's no tournament without Dry Arabia at this point in time. It's like the classic default map. Grecian Marshes also a classic at this point. Gorge, Pigeon's View, Kawasan, as you mentioned, Golden Heights. I really like Golden Heights, I gotta say. Like, Golden Heights is one of those maps where it can go one or two ways with, like, either it's snowbally or it can go really long.
Yeah.
As well. I think the way this map kind of, like, rewards macro play in the early game is unique in a way that, like, few other maps really do.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is basically over with a 1% chance of amazing comeback, or we've done the dance the first 10 minutes. Now we get to see some incredible new diverse gameplay. Hold it there with you. I think, like, that's the problem. Sometimes you get this balance of maps that look cheesy at first, but given time, given opportunity, we build it into this new beautiful landscape of strategies you just wouldn't see in Dry Arabia, Lipany, and the likes.
All right, now it is time for us to jump into our first game in this best of 9 grand finals between Puppy Paw spawning in the color yellow, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, against Vortex, the color red, playing as the Malians here on Lipany.
Oh, glorious way to start this off. We were talking about Dry Arabia's one of your classics. Lipany has always been there, but sometimes it seems to slip the ball. Won't here, of course. We open up with a 1-0 lead. Puppy Paw already beating Puppy Paw at Vortex rather once in the upper bracket. But can he do it again? Usually when you see this reclash, it's a completely different affair. And got to give it to Vortex, man. Malians is a king civ. It's a true Mansa civ. While the Delhi, while remaining strong, I think we can agree, hasn't had as much priority in recent times.
Delhi is one of those civilizations that are always, like, depending on the player that actually plays them, top tier. But you actually have to, like, know the civilization, know its boundaries. We've seen it with certain players, of course, where Delhi can be pushed all the way into, like, the top 5, top 3 even, or even top 1 on ladder. It's one of the civilizations that scales incredibly well with just the skill ceiling that we've got in the game. But as you said, like, Malians just default. We talked about this in, like, the last time we casted together as well, where it's like, you can never really count Malians out. Kill 10 villagers, kill 20 villagers. They still can put up a fight.
Oh, it's getting more ridiculous. I had a game in the KPM finals. I think a guy was down like 40 villages. He still wouldn't tap out. I mean, it's the last game. I kind of get it. But boys, come on. And, Malians, I get why people believe in it, the power of them. But, there's no denying, even with that cow behind them, they're still very much a tempo-based civ, it feels like. And that's why I love these Sofa builds we've been seeing coming out. Because it almost felt like when we had Donzo Javelin, Malians were being a toll waiting to become tempo. Now with these new Sofa builds, you're seeing them hit that aggressive timing in Feudal, and then essentially amplify it as the game goes on. It's a more coherent playstyle than it has been in the past.
Yeah, for sure. And just giving Malians a little bit of tempo, as you mentioned, to, like, be able to dictate the game pace a bit on their own. It just was such a nice synergy for the civilization, because before that it used to be, you mass Donzo and Javelin thrust and then you just sit in your base all game, and if your opponent allows you to cow boom, it's GG. Now it's a lot more active. We see a lot more of these, like, okay, a little bit of a hesitant cow boom. You go to Feudal Age, you get like 3 cattle in just to get a little bit of additional food scaling as the feudal age progresses through, but you don't fully commit to it. Instead, you keep up massing units, you keep up massing those fast cavalry units, you get some map presence, you try and do some raids. It's a lot more of an active playstyle, and I think suits Malians very well.
Yeah, it feels a lot less toxic as well, you know, like old Malians, I kind of put them on the tier of English for annoying to kill in feudal, you know, like trying to get in their base felt impossible when you had all these javelins being hurled at you from spearmen and javelins alike. Whereas at least now, you know, there's a lot more, I think, reward for Malians, but also there's a little bit more risk in there. I'd say a little bit because I think Sofas, if used well at this level at least, are very difficult to lose, as we've been seeing. But Delhi, definitely one of the civs that can gun for you in that regard, right? The Ghazi are faster. There's also that healing factor. I feel like in this matchup, Malians are usually trying to balance staying in feudal and moving ahead. Because obviously if you stay too long in the age, that's when the healing of Delhi and the trickle of sacred sites can kick you in the ass.
All right, age up's now about to complete here for this player. Dome of the Faith is going to be the choice for Papipo, getting access to those cheaper scholars. Meanwhile, Vortex, of course, with the Manza Quarry, getting 75 gold or stone per minute. Pretty much equivalent to 2 villagers, so definitely a very good economic choice. It's one of the main reasons why we rarely ever see like any other landmark for the Malians in the feudal age.
Yeah.
Similarly for Delhi, right? Like, it's... Before the last nerf, it was like 130 gold that you saved per minute on the landmark. Now at the moment, I'm not actually exactly sure how much gold you save, but it's still a substantial amount and still the like #1 landmark for them to pick.
It's the interesting thing is like there was an experiment around the tower, and it was mostly from players like Anasan, the 2 TC strat when they first made the Malian change, so the town center didn't cost stone anymore. But I don't want to say it's the same meaningful, it just didn't seem like it actually fit its final form, and then people just kind of fully regressed. Like a few even experimenting players just accepted Mance's the way. It's one of those saves, I think we have a few of them now before, where I'd love to see a bit of tuning done, because while there's always going to be a meta choice of landmark, we do have some insanely skewed one. I mean, Delhi's another one where you maybe see 1 Tower Victory game for every 40.
Have you ever seen Juji open up with Jiangnan Tower? Now you can't manage any. You can't mention any specific. Like you can't mention any Dragavan games. Those don't count. Other than that, have you ever seen a Jiangnan? That guy doesn't play the game.
Yeah, but I'm going really far back. There's a what I call the Donati build when that expansion first came out, which was you don't build units, you build buildings. So you had like 40
I refuse to believe that he read what the landmark does before he built it.
he did, seriously. That's the game. It's ridiculous. He had like 70 stables and 20 archer ranges and 40 Raxes by the end.
That sounds like a fun time.
Wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, it's a bit of a weird one for sure. So we have got the cavalry clash coming in, by the way. And already a nice little snipe there. Vortex, of course, is leveraging the fact that his scouts are fast and they heal faster. And then he will be following up with the Sofa. But I think the idea here is to kind of draw this Ghazi away and see if you can creep the Sofa in while Puppy Paw is looking.
Yeah, like the warrior scout play there early on, courtesy of just, you know that the Ghazi Raiders are going to get healed up. But you, with the warrior scouts, you also get a little bit of additional healing on those units. So you can actually take some of these more, like, in and out fights there. Actually able to deny vision here from Puppy Paw, sniping out the enemy scout, but needs to be careful. Vortex doesn't want to lose his warrior scouts. This one's close to going down.
We might have to
salute the body block.
So just charge back in.
Yeah, body block.
Nice switch over. Does take a lot of damage though. Not entirely sure if that was worth it. I mean, you see how quickly this Sofa can actually just lose that health ball. You know, they are threatening on the DPS, but really not the tanky force they're known to be compared to their Castle Age compadre.
Scholars now moving forward, so we're about to be seeing that triple capture coming in on those sacred sites 7 minutes into the game. Of course, that's the kind of point in the game where Delhi love to move out. We've already 8 Ghazi Raiders out on the map. There aren't enough Dunzos yet in order to really put up a fight. We do have 4 cattle in for Vortex. This looks like the majority of the sacred sites should be captured up here by Puppy Paw.
And you see the respect being shown. Puppy Paw, he saw the Donzos, so he just pulls all the scholars to one location, which invalidates them. They can't actually go and engage that now. It just would be a pointless exchange. Does get caught being greedy on the east side, but always has the guys to respond in time. I mean, we have to remember these scholars get an insane amount of health, up to 130 as it just kicks in with the piety.
Oh,
Ghazi, now even creeping around the back. I mean, this is the power in numbers, Crackety. Sometimes it's not about the quality, it's about who's got more crap to hurl. Well, speaking of
Gazi
traps,
Raiders. Also finding some of the Donzos here. Loses one of the Gazi Raiders, but able to take down all 3 Donzos. Definitely worthwhile exchange here. Hypod didn't manage to yet capture up the first one, but that's only a matter of time. First Sacred Site should be captured up in just a second, and second and third can follow right after.
nice exchange there. Poppy Paw just now going to be able to find that time to sneak out to the east side, I think. Now he sees the sofa, right? So you just chase them around, move to the opposite side of the map. Also just shift to the west side, because if you try to snipe this 130 HP unit, you're going to end up losing like 2 sofa, and it won't be worth the effort.
I also see an archer switch prep behind this for Puppet Boy. At least the first couple of archers already in production. Vortex similarly has made 1 archer just to, be able to react. Should Puppet Boy invest into some spearmen instead? Hasn't been the case yet. And now more sofas being prepped behind this. So sofa and Dunzo. Actually, more archers in queue. So goes for 1-1-1 army composition.
Yeah, just kind of littering it in. And we also have the Pro Scouts coming from Puppet Paw for free. I know, crazy price to pay. So we have a lot of safety in his base. Really critical here when your opponent's still adding in more sofa. It kind of creates this environment where you don't necessarily have to react with your own spearmen defensively, which is great because it just means Puppy Paw is, at this point, playing a poor man's Ottomans, really. Just mass light cavalry into a win.
More cavalry ranchers being prepped behind us for Vortex, so we'll be able to continue scaling with the cattle. But military-wise, the numbers just aren't looking that good here at the moment for him. Puppy Paw doing a great job of just being aggressive here on all different sides, and that is something that Vortex at the moment struggles with. He doesn't have the mobility, only 3 sofas at the moment. The rest is all slow-moving infantry. The Gazire is just dictating the pace here.
I think this is the tricky part. Like, even just those 3 Donzo losses has really hurt Vortex on the scaling point, right? Now we're at a stage where Puppy Paw sees this spearman count, has Ghazi, doesn't care, just bludgeons them to death. You have 3 extra spears in there, it's not a great exchange. That's a bit of an ugly dive, though. Puppy Paw not showing the respect necessary. Remember, he prioritized Steeled Arrow first. However, he is going to find the berry workers
so
sleeping.
many raids. So many raids at the same time, different angles here, just completely catching Vortex off guard. There's just so many different things that Vortex is forced to react to at the moment. Meanwhile, Puppy Paw just continues building up his army. Vortex trying to go for a decap on 2 of the 3 sacred sites.
But
this is still a rough situation for him.
Yeah, he's still got the cow to kind of pad the losses here, so he's within the threshold of feasible still. But you just see how incredible this is out of Puppy Paw. We said he leveled up his game. We talked about the fact that, like, once upon a time they've seen macro players that become more aggressive, and you're seeing exactly that. Vortex, who is meant to be the angry Spanish bull, is the one being kept on the defensive everywhere here.
And just look at the idle time that this has forced so far. Puppy Paw, just with so much aggression here, a minute of idle time on Vortex TC. That is like killing 3 villagers at the moment. It shows in the population here, 7 villagers behind. Now, there's still a ton of passive income. We're now up to 14 cattle. This is still a rough situation for Vortex at the moment. Puppy Paw behind this now also investing into additional scouts, because guess what? He's gotten pro scouts in for free. He can now just gather up those deer nice and safely underneath his TC.
Yeah, meanwhile, Vortex just gets to eat the cow. That's going to be an internal resource for him, so he can just kind of compete. Obviously, he's spending gold, but the nice thing is, as you have pit mines, you do well there. The tricky part is Ghazi are phenomenal at taking out those pit mines. It's actually impressive how much pressure Puppy Paw has been able to leverage on just one side. I feel like the way he's kind of splitting the attention and raiding is what you'd expect if Vortex had a gold vein on the opposite sides of his base. Instead, he's got what should feel like a condensed economy. Instead, somehow Puppy Paw still keeps finding those raids, and the moment that Vortex stabilizes is going to be the moment that Puppy Paw says, I'm done. He's heading for Castle ahead of the Malians.
And the timing here just super rough for Vortex now. If Puppy Paw gets that Castle Age in, it's not a situation where Vortex can really do any damage to him to punish that. It should be coming in any moment now. House of Learning, 10 villagers working on that. Puppy Paw just pulling his army back to his base. He knows that if he can just stay safe for the next couple of minutes, he's gonna be good to go to end the game. Vortex at the moment, 23 population behind what Puppy Paw is out on the field. Granted, a lot of that is in the form of scholars, so not necessarily military units.
The sofa's kind of poking in, though, because if you're concerned there's a tech timing coming, you want to be in a position to potentially intercept relics. It's going to just club in the tree line temporarily, but will be pushed back. But I think that's the thing we're looking for here. Wait, they're sneaking in now. They're coming around the base. Puppy Paw is seen quick enough, though. Vortex Wasn't distracted that very moment. So we'll be able to shift and dodge that killing blow. Tech up is about to complete. Now, what we're looking for on the minimap is going to be which relics are attainable. It looks like there's only going to be one relic grab straight away from Puppy Paw. So not that insane timing we're used to seeing out the deli. Archers are just going to be kept in the base to deal with the sofa. But this is a bit of a maybe questionable strike in there by Vortex. Expensive losses having sofas going down.
Yeah, I mean, the Sofas, they don't really do bonus damage, or not a lot, and at the same time, without imported armor, they also do take a good amount of damage. Wallow coming in, should be getting sniped up before, though.
Oh, he's
Vortex is moving into the aggression here, but, I mean, KP, we talked about this, or at least mentioned that this is probably not the best situation to attack into. However, though, he's going into Lancers, not a War Elephant here.
Okay, but the Archer's veterancy, he's going to buy some time for that. Villagers shift off the tree line. Puppy Paw, he's actually... Wow, he blinks first. He had Ghazi heading towards Vortex's base. He's bringing them home now. He says, I have to. I cannot risk this. Spears, struggling with the dive. Sofa continue on their own. The Donzo's holding back his great discipline here from Vortex. He's waiting to receive the Ghazi that he knows are looming in the wings, but he might have to react on the forward side as Lancers have arrived. Ghazi are going to come in for the pin. They block the retreat. Vortex going to lose the majority of the sofas here, and he's getting ready to tech up, but Puppy Paw is now able to march on the offensive.
Tech up timing here is so important for Vortex. If he's just able to get the age up in, his upgrades are going to be coming in much, much quicker as the Malians, also for cheaper. But he needs to be able to keep those Donzos alive. There's a lot of Lancers in queue at the moment, but still so many Archers there as well. There's a couple back, wants to take care of the Ghazi Raiders. Is going to be able to pinch a couple of them here.
Did he click one of the Archers? I feel like a lot more Ghazi should have been going down. Yeah, they all threw their javelins instead. That was... Oh no, he should have got, I think, an extra 2 free Ghazi at least. So they're going to keep giving chase. We're 10 seconds away from age up.
I think. Get the surround in.
Keep in mind, Puppy Paw, you know, you just talked about Malians catching up on the upgrades. Well, like, they're going to be playing catch-up. They're not going to be moving ahead here. The veterancies are already in. The army size is quite frankly ridiculous. And Vortex is primarily just left with Donzos when Puppy Paw has all the archers necessary to deal with exactly that. He marches underneath the TC. He finds a few worker snipes. And now you can just rotate around. Ghazi, they go back to burn down the pit mines. And the problem you have here for Vortex is he pretty much only is going to have the cow generating any resources at this rate. As a dive does come in towards the tree line, it will be rebutted. This is uncomfortable for the Mali.
Yeah, pit mine has been taken down, so now gold income pretty much none available at the moment for Vortex outside of the Manza Quarry and the last remaining pit mine. It's not going to be enough to constantly be able to produce sofas now. Veterancy upgrades are in, but can he push Puppy Paw off this spot? Can he get that gold access in? And Puppy Paw is so smart with this. He's keeping units all around the base from Vortex. He wants to catch villagers running towards a gold vein here. And look at the way, yeah, he's just patrolling them all the way around. He's like, okay, get out here if you dare. I'll find your villagers and I'll take them down.
It's just full denial of resources, right? Like, Vortex is scrambling together a few so far, but it's coming at great cost. Villagers out on the deer, get raided, get pushed back. Extends the lead and extends it in the score as well. He may have already began this set with 1 game, but he opens up the first with a win as well. Puppy Paw already building what can feel like an oppressive lead in the grand finals.
Yeah, what an impressive game. I mean, it kind of showed in the economy stats there towards the end as well. Total resources gathered. I'm not sure if these stats here are accurate, because in the overlay we did have some different stats with Puppy Paw just having an immense lead when it comes to the overall resource gather, but it looks like these are the accurate ones. And yeah, Vortex having more resource thanks to the cattle, but it did come with a massive investment that in the end, without the gold, you just cannot transform that into units.
Yeah, you have to think of it like it's an interesting matchup for this. You have to think of it as the cow is an investment, a long-term investment, right? Whereas usually Delhi, when they get their hands on these sacred sites, it's like they're short in the stock market. You know, they're coming in fast. They're just getting that quick return on investment. They're usually not expecting to hold on to it long. If they do, they're going to crash everything. And unfortunately for Vortex, that's exactly what happened. It just felt like after those first 3 Donzos went down, he had to take a very defensive line, and we didn't really see him intercept anything beyond that point. It just felt like it was Puppy Paw's game to dictate, and he'd done it perfectly so.
Next up, we are going to be moving over to Frisian Marshes, and it is going to be the Tughlaq dynasty up against the Japanese here from Puppy Paw. Gonna be interesting. We're gonna quickly check out the draft here as well, just to make sure that we get a little bit more of a broader picture as to what civilizations have been sniped out here in order to get us to this matchup.
Maybe Sengoku is a possibility. I mean, that's an interesting thing about Vortex's draft. You were saying earlier about Tughlaq feeling a little bit underwhelming. I think he drafted them right here if the idea was Frisian, because Sengoku is probably the single best answer to Elephanto Funtime. Like, the Shinobi, even after the nerfs, the Yumi composition, it just forms really well. And actually, interestingly enough, is HRE he was going for. So I guess maybe... What's Sengoku going to be his ace up the sleeve? Probably Pigeon's View seems a bit more obvious. But I guess the Lancaster ban, really no surprise. I feel like that could take a dump on either of Vortex's picks.
Yeah, Lancaster, of course, they're quite the powerhouse still at the end of the day when it comes to like those feudal age pushes. And when you got a civilization like the Tughlaq, which might not be the strongest in the feudal age, you definitely do want to take care and snipe that one out straight away, because that is just a dangerous, dangerous matchup for you. But yeah, Tughlaq on a map like Frisian Marshes, they do scale very, very nicely. With the fishing there, of course, they do have economic bonuses towards that. So do Japanese, but I think for Tughlaq, it's a little bit more, I want to say, just beneficial, just courtesy of percentage on shoreline fish that have been buffed as well. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah. Japanese on Frisian Marshes, I mean, probably just going to be the classic attempt to fast cast and get those OP mounted samurai up on the map.
Imagine so. Seems to be the classic go-to. Maybe add in one or two fishing maximum. Just because it used to be more of the bread and butter, but obviously in more recent times, although it's still cheaper to build those fishing boats, it's not as cheap as it once was. Even the Shinobi detail, actually, I don't even know if you necessarily want Shinobi anymore. I feel like Kura maybe offers up better here, especially if you feel like Tughlaq is going to be aggressive, which you're expecting, right? Like Raider Elephants, Spearmen, Heel Elephants. This is the bread and butter. That's the reason Tughlaq loves this map so much. They get the food necessary to be aggressive early on.
Yeah, I mean, Shinobi are nice in general when it comes to hybrid maps, but this is not necessarily that much of a hybrid map. You're not going to try and reinforce that much on these pawns afterwards, so burn in there doesn't really do too much, and it is time for us to jump into our game. Number 2, Vortex spawning in the color red. Once again, it is going to be the Tughlaq dynasty here for him on Frisian Marshes, and Puppet Paw, the Japanese in the color yellow.
Should be a fun one. Elephants being seen here time and time again with the Tughlaq and Frisian. Japan, not as much. Still a powerful pick on this map, but it feels like there's so many maps where they can be good. You don't feel like you are shoehorned into picking it on this particular one. Opening-wise, we're not going to see anything aggressive, right? No racks play from either player. I think it's just kind of a chill, vibrant beginning and a play towards feudal.
Yeah. Looks like Vortex did invest into dog play, but nothing of the sort here from Puppet Paw, so more going to be like a fast feudal age from him. Puppet Paw does scout that out now, is going to be able to see that dog play from Vortex.
Now,
How to react to that? Is there... Could invest into it, but it doesn't really make sense when you already are gathering gold.
Well, it's also against Tughlaq specifically, right? Like the fishing boats attack you back, so unless you want to then make an outpost, it's very ineffective. I think that's a really big part of why people rate Tughlaq so highly on this map. Is while other civs are vulnerable when they do this play to a Dark Age rush, you aren't, because your fishing boats will shoot any aggressors in the face.
Yeah, that's true. While also being more efficient at the same time. Villager was a little bit curious, but decided to head back.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you might as well just play for the tech up first and then see what your options are. Sheep-wise, he should be fine if he wants to go for like a fast castle play. That being said, I mean, 12 isn't crazy, but the beautiful thing as Japan is you always have the berries. And also, nowadays on Frisian, you typically get that kind of backwards-facing deer towards the edge of the map. And it is going to be Koka. Okay, so we have an interesting choice here. I wondered if he was just going to try Kuro for the safety, but he does want to stop this fishing.
And Vortex is trying to scout for it. Was also going for a barracks at the beginning, but decides against it. Is that going for a second dock? Second pond, but the timing here could be kind of rough for him when it comes to the age-ups. He hasn't even started gathering any gold yet.
Yeah, he has got one that's kind of backward-facing a little bit, so he doesn't have to panic rush, but, with the Shinobi timing, you do have to have it on your mind. So we'll be shifting out now. Just 2. think he's got a third one actually on the way now. But probably going to see Vortex, try and keep this villager out here, set up more docks if you can.
Just now out on the gold. Tughlaq Township, it's not being rushed up by Puppy Paw. Only 3 villagers working on that. Same time, also only 1 on gold, so I'm not sure what the direct transition is going to be. Probably just once. Okay, yeah, he is going into fish now as well.
Yeah. It had to be more greedy, right? The moment you see that slow tech, but like, okay, I think in his mind, he thought maybe Vortex was on doing 1 pond initially, and then he scouts second. He's like, okay, at this point, I'm going to fall behind economically if I don't start to match what you're doing. So we'll start the ninja to be frustrating. But, we have to keep in mind this whole idea of, hey, you can't get an archer ship out to protect yourself. It's not as damning here for Tughlaq unless you hard commit to the feudal age play. Because if you're only sending in a few troops to try and burn out a dock, like we just already mentioned, you've always got the fishing boats to shoot any attacker.
Dome of Faith now coming in for Vortex. 6 villagers working on that. Tughlaq Township about to complete, and Vortex is going to see that... Nope. He just barely missed the pond play from Puppy Paw. Just didn't scout enough, barely.
Okay, wonder if he'll just try to attack because of that. Like, the assumption being that his opponent's maybe going to try to fast tech, and I've got, 2 ponds. Even now seeing the gold on either 1 on, his suspicion might be, okay, it's not fast tech, but he's clearly going to have to try and attack me because I have economical advantage. So if I just prep, say, things like Raider Elephants, because usually, if you think about feudal age for Japan, it's going to be Yumi at some point, right? Like, that's the big threat. And the Raider Elephants are pretty damn effective at slowing and stopping that.
Shinobi already on its way. Vortex did see that one coming out from the Coca though, so is trying to look for it, but man, those guys are pretty quick. So looks like he's not going to be able to catch them.
I wonder if we're actually going to get to see some Fortress gameplay here now that I think about it. There was some recent buffs to it, in conjunction with nerfs towards the Elephanto Funtime builds. I gotta say, I think we're kind of getting to the point where Tughlaq Abad forts make sense. I've even seen, I think actually Lucifron was experimenting with a few builds on this particular map.
It's nice that you can kind of like prep towards it, especially with like the food gathering one, because you can like already prepare houses in a formation that is going to benefit it.
Yeah, it's really nice for that because it's like we've even seen the builds where you rush that fort, but you've already like prepped it because you've got houses and maybe 1 or 2 farms scattered around it, usually towards the gold location. It's a pretty effective build, and on this map it can make sense as well because you kind of want Tughlaq Abad fort towards the center for the sacred site control, where there's plenty of stone as well.
Vortex sneaking his villagers across to the ponds from Puppy Paw.
Cheeky.
Oh,
he does know about the
look for it.
fishing. Yeah, so he knows about Puppy Paw's fishing. He knows how far it's gone as well. So should be able to creep full corner. I mean, it's pretty crafty. If you keep extending the docks, even if you get them up before the Shinobi arrive, you're just going to get disabled on the docks entirely. So this is a crafty way of avoiding that problem, avoiding rushing to react to it, and still increasing your eco. Going to be the Horseman strat. So this is going to be what? Uma Bannerman timing probably around 8-9 minutes maybe. Mass Horseman with double melee tech. Pretty damn effective actually, even against the heal elephants and even potentially Raider elephants.
It's going to be really good because Vortex at the moment is just massing archers alongside it, but that is going to get spotted out now by the scout. So has been revealed, and yeah, that is going to be something that Piper probably won't notice for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, especially the way that this is kind of leaning. Like, Vortex going heal elephant plus archers. He's probably going to try to directly aggress towards a pond. So Puppy Paw might just be less inclined to scale ridiculously fast. Shinobi is being cheeky. Will end up just shooting the Shunshin away. Did he use the burn? I don't think he did, judging by the bar. Okay, he did. Okay, yeah.
It has been used.
Yeah. Ambitious to think he might get that, but the Horseman might be able to follow it up. Creeping in now. They don't go after the worker, or maybe the pathing went wrong there towards the heal elephant. Does snipe out the archers instead. Shinobi will survive. That's going to be important for saboing here and just stopping the fishing boats coming out. But the game of Ring of Roses is proving pretty bloody annoying for Puppy Paw. He needs to have enough horsemen to burst these archers down. Otherwise, it becomes quite pointless.
Yeah, healing still kind of difficult to deal with. Vortex is trying to buddy block, but oh my god, this is just infuriating to look at. The units just running around the elephants, getting healed up faster. And the
It's so
horseman can take
silly.
him down.
But it's nerfed, Crackety. They nerfed it, so it's absolutely fine now. It's not a giant comical B-reel of Benny Hill's footage waiting to happen.
There's a couple of spearmen now coming in as well. They are also going to boost up the attack damage of these healer elephants. This time there should be enough horsemen.
Yeah,
But still, these elephants are so big, it's difficult to just click on these archers.
It's also just you hang around them, you're taking headbutts to the face. It's 15 damage. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up over time, right? You know, that's less than 10 hits that each of your horsemen will take. 8 hits specifically. So it does get pricey.
Getting the snipe on the horseman there.
As they do. You know, natural predator of the horses, these fishing boats, was their 6 damage. I wonder, Puppy Paw, is it actually rushing out for like one dabble of stone or anything to just get the Uma quicker? Even though the Uma Bannerman's a pretty big deal once you have the melee tech 1.
It kind of makes your horsemen into like Ghazi Raiders, but even better.
Yes,
They do attack slightly
it's more of
faster.
them. Yeah.
Cheaper.
And like once you have melee tech 2, they are simply better than like default Ghazi. I think maybe Puppy Paw is just more focused on getting enough to burn down docks without hesitation. Which is, I mean, it's ballsy. It requires you to just scale in one direction, and that does leave you vulnerable. Like what's now happening. Vortex spamming spears.
Yeah, it's something that Puppy Paw definitely has to react to, right? Like, so far he's been only making horsemen, just being content with trying to get these raids in. Looks like behind this he might be trying to go for a castle age up as he's got 8 villagers on the goal, but Vortex could catch him here in uncomfortable timing.
Horsemen are going to try to draw his attention back home. They're going for a burn. Fishing boats. Wait, oh. He actually
Plus
thought
100% bonus HP.
Yeah, he actually thought that it was going home as well as the other thing. He thought it was going to like go inside the dock and garrison. It was actually just dropping off. So Vortex didn't realize, because I think he actually had the time to kill one. You mentioned that goal is now in the crosshairs of Vortex. El Aggresso Man arrives, and I love that from Puppy Paw. He says, nope, I know what those guys can do. I'm not going to try to repair for it. He retreats off the gold entirely. And he's only now seeing the spearmen, so we should be seeing Yuumi here. There's no way you defend this with just horsemen.
He's going for the Uma Bannerman. It is surprisingly easy to out-heal
that's
TC
interesting.
fire. Okay.
Samurai?
Couple
It's
of
samurai.
barracks.
Right? This is
Could
the
also
classic
be just
Canadian
spear.
thing.
Nah, it should be spears.
You want a spear when there's already archers?
It needs to be spearmen. For samurai, just get out-healed.
Yeah, also you'd have to trade for the gold, right? He's intercepting really well, actually. The Shinobi surprisingly effective, the high damage. Able to chase the Raider Elephants away. This is a good intercept. I like the thought process from Puppy Paw. It's still just raw horsemen, but the reason this can work is because it's the best way of stopping Vortex from bulking up.
He's invested the gold into just more shinobi here, actually. And makes sense, oddly enough, because shinobi actually do great damage up against the heal elephants. At the same time, on the gold, fight's going on again. Okay, villagers did get pulled back in time.
A little bit ambitious on the dive there. Vortex will be fine, though. Villagers not close to the town center. And it is indeed going to be finally the arrival of the spearmen. But look at that. Beautiful intercept. Gets in on the heal elephants. And we know that Sengoku shinobi are the answer to these elephants. Turns out all shinobi are.
Expander still putting up more fishing ships on the ponds of Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw just can't really get any gold access at the moment. He is remassing still into more and more horsemen and more spearmen behind this. But his initial plan was to go up to Castle Age, and it's just been denied over and over again. More villagers yet go down again.
Yeah, it just feels like he's kind of been held hostage on this detail, but Vortex does have to be very careful. You know, we kind of get to the point where his army now feels overextended. Intercept again on the reinforcements. Archers not able to clear quick enough here. The shinobi, the art of the shinobi, is the way of war for Puppy Paw. Able to hold them back so long, will get sniped down the end, only Trickle able to retreat. So now it comes down to what he can do in a direct engagement, because Vortex has re-established his logistics lines. 6 healer elephants now.
Good amount to have for sure.
It's bloody ridiculous. Soon to be 7. We've seen this type of timing before. It's definitely weaker than it was. I mean, technically, it is... what would the math be? Is it 25% weaker than what it was, roughly? But
Healing's still
enough?
super solid behind it. We're seeing more Raider Elephants coming in as well alongside.
And just the other thing
is
as well.
also just
I,
pretty strong.
also the spin on top of that are making that count of war elephants more threatening, remember, because it's increasing the damage per 1 in range. So like it's a weirdly complementary element to bulk on, and we are now getting those samurai from Puppy Paw. He's finally adding them in. I think he feels it's necessary, especially with this many archers, able to just one-hit kill the spearman. But now the attack comes in towards the fishing, but also towards the gold. The gold that he just got to build those samurai. He's going to dive on in. It's going to force the backstab. Puppy Paw rides in with a horseman. Spearman slow to respond. It's a traffic jam between the two. An Indian traffic jam, which means no one's moving. Demo ship. He's trying to push him towards the abyss. But he can't walk. He has to stand still. Heal elephants lasting a long time, but those health bars, they're gradually slithering down. The problem is the military mass. It's leading too high for Vortex. Puppy Paw almost doubled in numbers now, and he still hasn't killed one of these.
He just won't die. And Puppy Paw, he's got to retreat. No, is he actually just losing to mass healers? Finally able to get this round in again. Spearman still remaining.
There's nothing left to actually protect against the Japanese reserves. Heal elephants have to retreat. New wave is on the way. Vortex did take a big win, but he needs to make sure the elephants get out or it can turn into a big L. 2 more go down. The rest should be able to retreat here. Raider elephants coming in to assist. Second wave does arrive. That's got Spearman in it. So Japan will have to back away, but Puppy Paw is bulking towards his true form. Look at that samurai count. It's now double digits.
Yeah, but samurai aren't that good DPS-wise. Like, they'll get out-healed so easily. It's a little bit ridiculous, and yeah, I'm a little bit afraid here that if push comes to shove, once we get up again to like 8 heal elephants, but it's House of Learning instead. Castle Age is coming in.
I was about to say, like, right now they look like samurai, but when you get to 30 of them, that's when you say Castle Age, and that's when you can win the game. And I think Vortex realized that's what Puppy Paw is cooking with, so he's not going to play into it. He's going to play ahead of it. Now, admittedly, these Tughlaq Castle Age landmarks aren't the greatest, but what is going to be great... Go ahead.
Unless you're actually playing with elephants.
Yes. Because 3 of the 5 choices are elephant-based. And, I mean, even things like the Neza training, if you know Japan wants to go Mount Samurai, not they're going to here. There's a lot of good versatility there situationally. It's also the upgrade speed. You just saw the pip. If you blinked, you missed it. They're already veteran archers. And they're going to stand their ground on this. Spreads the line. Samurai, nice trample through with the Raider elephants. Gets behind him. And look at the heals! The upgrade kicks in! And the elephants are fun time. Never ends.
Vortex now getting a point on the scoreboard as well. Puppy Paw, he just did not stand a chance against this many elephants. And man, I mean, we see it in the total resources gathered, but Tughlaq on a hybrid map, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
In fairness, I got to call you out. You were like, I don't know about this pick. Did Vortex convince you after that?
We were already thinking about Tughlaq being decent on like hybrid maps. We've seen them on Golden Heights. I want to say like it really depends. Like I think if this was against Lancaster, I think Tughlaq would have been absolutely decimated. Mm-hmm. But against Japanese here, it was a perfect storm, right? Like Puppy Paw just not being able to get the transition into Castle Age. Just courtesy of the healing, right? Like, there were enough healer elephants in time to deny the gold completely. Outpost is not enough as a defense.
It's also
and without
like
Castle Age, Puppy Paw just couldn't get a counter up.
This build in particular, like seeing this build still work so well, right? This specific build that was technically nerfed. The healer elephant strat was meant to be not as oppressive anymore. Yet Vortex just proved how it can dominate. And you know, Puppy Paw. If you take to Reddit, didn't Puppy Paw technically do the solution that Reddit always gives, which is just build horsemen until you could win, right? He built horsemen non-stop, and he still couldn't win.
I mean, Horsemen are... We're in a cavalry meta. We're in a cavalry meta at the moment, through and through. But when you just don't do bonus damage, and there is healing alongside it, it just feels so bad to play with Horsemen in that situation. And we saw it here, like the elephants, they are such a huge entity in the game as well, that body blocking is a legitimate issue. That just trying to get on top of the archers just did not seem possible for Puppy Paw throughout this game. In the end, Vortex with the scaling behind it all, taking positive trades, always being able to heal up again, means that he is going to be able to win that game. But KP, next up, going to be moving over to Pigeon's View, and Ayubits versus the Ottomans. Sapai are just a vile unit, but camels, you know, that camel unease could be good enough to, you know, take him down a notch here.
You have to be careful though, right? If you're playing Mass Desert Raiders here, you're probably not going to have a fun time against Sapahi. Also, like, the timings around Castle Age get a bit weird. Like, if you rely too much on camels, like, a lot of camel strats have been coming out, Camel Lancer, Desert Raiders, Intermaginiques. Those can struggle against Janissaries. So I think, like, here, you're probably feeling safest with maybe just your old, atypical Archer Camel comp, right? Like, kind of need to pad yourself. I feel like that's so critical as well against Ottomans specifically because of things like the meta. They force you to always have to think about the balance of range to melee damage in your army comps.
At the same time, I don't think you want to be going for just a blind or rather fast Castle Age with the Ayubits. I think you gotta at least play a little bit into the Feudal Age here. Just because time and time we kind of see that with the meta, like bonus armor, not Vizier Point, but like the bonus armor aura that is there. If you're just too greedy with the age up, the Ottomans are typically in a perfect situation to just dive you with early blacksmith upgrades and the +1 ranged armor. They don't mind diving underneath the TC for an extended amount of time with the spy. And if you get shut down on the resource gathering before you can get the production buildings in, before you can get your army onto the field in Castle Age, it could be a pretty bad time.
Yeah, it's also a great map for that type of approach, right? Like just catching your opponent off guard when they're being greedy. You arrive out of nowhere, wave of Sipahi, shuts them down, and that's where you want to be careful about things like the Dervish build, because I think the Dervish build on this particular map can be a bit baiting. You know, the one where you just sit them on your gold and nothing can be done. The problem with that strategy is if you don't invest in outposts, you don't necessarily see what's coming over the hill. And if it's a big boogeyman all in Ottoman play, like you just mentioned, that can just shut you down straight away before your game even begins.
Indeed, the sniped out civilizations here were the Rus and the Sengoku. Makes a little sense. Rus is pretty good on Pigeon's View. Yeah, they harmonize, I want to say. Like, there's some synergies here and there, and especially with, you know, hunting cabins, just plopping them down in South of Stealth Forest, and, you know, you get like 20 gold for each of them. Pay off pretty quickly. It's a pretty quick ROI at the end of the day, and that's really what the game is all about, right? Like getting that return on investment in any economy upgrade, and hunting cabins at the moment in their current form, pretty good at that.
Yep. Kind of keeps reasonable pace, even compared to some like Yatais, which also function ridiculously well here. Not to mention the ambush anywhere, everywhere, any day of the week effect of 80% of the map being Stealth Forest.
You're never safe. Like, you cannot move out to resource without an outpost, because the second that gets spotted out, I mean, there's just gonna be 6 shinobi suddenly spawning in. Yep. They're gonna have a field day.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Sengoku has a convenient UAV ability built into that landmark to see you as well.
Because why not?
Why didn't they just, like, they could have probably stuck that ability on Ryokan and it would have been okay. Why did they stick them both on the Shinobi land?
They saw a synergy and they were like, we have to, right? Like, it's synergized.
We can't
so
complicate it too much, okay? We want people to play this, Civ. We'll just stick all the buttons in one building. They'll get it, yeah. But here we go, folks. Pigeon's View time. Puppy Paw, of course, still leading, but Vortex finally able to strike back. Let's see if he can strike back and even up with his Ottomans, as Puppy Paw has the Ayubits.
Jumping in, I mean, this is one of those situations, right, where Vortex, in theory, the score is even, but in practice, not so much. Puppy of course, did take him down in the top bracket, in the winners bracket final, so it makes sense that he's a score ahead, but it's always just something that puts additional pressure on you if you're Vortex.
Yes, but someone that will be a nice boon to his morale is going to be the fact that he was able to take down Japan with a more situational civ in the Tughlaq, right? So you removed one of the generically strong civs. In fact, the first priority pick for your opponent last game. And now you come into one, admittedly having to discard one of your stronger civs, but I'd argue Iobids, I won't quite put them on Ottoman level, but I think they are sometimes underrated in the general population's mind, right? Iobids is, I'd say, like strong B, maybe in like A tier. They have a lot of applicability and a lot of pretty toxic matchups, actually.
Yeah, the Manjanique, like, it's one of those civilizations where you've got, like, this death ball potential. When you get up to, like, 5-6 Manjaniques and you toggle them to the incendiary shots, it doesn't matter what unit stands in their way, they're gonna do massive damage in a large area of effect range, radius. And it's just so tough to deal with that, but being able to deal with it is a civilization like the Ottomans with just the best horsemen in the game that is able to tank up those shots and take down siege with relative ease.
Yep. It's a brutal civ to try and actually like play the siege warfare into. I mean, you know, thank God that Great Bombards aren't as oppressive as they were once upon a time, so it's somewhat feasible sometimes. And the Loggy Wing coming in, it is going to be the anticipated. So this gives him an ability to be more greedy if he's going for a fast castle. And in fairness, like, I can't blame him from being tempted. Look at that gold spawn. It's the best you could ask for. Back of your base, barely any stealth forest there. And even if your opponent tried to creep into it, you'd see him coming.
Next to the back tier as well. I mean, just allows you to take a lot more risky trades in the feudal age just because you always have the prospect of being able to heal up your units should the trade not go that well in your favor, and just in general get a lot more value out of them with the Desert Raiders.
Yeah, I wonder how Vortex is going to try to approach this. If it'll just be kind of like an all-in approach or just kind of a subtle raid into attack as well. Because like, he's got a pretty clustered spawn for playing mid-game as well. If you look at the south side of his base, double berry, double deer. You know, if he does have to play a longer game, although it's a little bit risky, he's at least got most of the critical resources leaning one direction, which should make it easier to defend against raids.
That's of course where the Twin Amadress is such a nice landmark to have, because you pretty much always secure yourself enough food come to have TC uptime, bare minimum.
Yeah.
Vizier points with the Ottomans, just getting additional 10 sheep. Never gonna say no to that.
Exactly.
Food? Yes, please.
Safely in my base? Don't mind if I do. Meanwhile, Poppy Paw would just be munching through his much quicker, especially considering it's not like a growth wing where you at least get that inflation of berries. I wonder if we're going to be getting like an... If it is a fast castle, it's going to be one of those industry wing builds, actually. Like, seems to be the growing popularity build with the wood getting you all the production online and the stone either coming in handy to secure the gold or to sell for more gold.
Well, Logistics Wing finishing up. Couple of dervishes popping out. Just gonna, you know, position themselves to be somewhat annoying here.
Oh no, a spearman.
Anyways.
Were you trying to kill us, or were you just trying to like tap us on the shoulder and ask us to move?
Just having a good time.
I mean, he's playing against a unit that does no damage, and he's taking more damage. We're just gonna watch this until he gets demoralized, guys. This is pretty much the way when you play against the dervish build.
And there's a raider now in queue though. So should be coming in soon enough.
Do you think those camels have psychic abilities and that's how they heal? Like, they just kind of intensely stare at you until you believe you're okay.
I'm not quite sure on the mechanics behind it all.
Therapeutic camels?
And, you know, as long as you believe in it, right? As long as you believe in it.
Got it. Yeah. It's a placebo
effect.
Like
it's a Peter Pan type situation where as long as you believe in it, you can fly.
Oh, okay. I got you. I thought you were going for like the placebo effect, like both your arms have fallen off, but like the camel's like, you're okay. And you're like, I'm okay. Passes out from blood loss 5 minutes later, but you were okay.
Totally fine, man. It's probably just, you know, common cold.
Yeah, you know, just a little sniffle, a little bruise maybe. But I'm bleeding out of it. Nah, that's what we call a good purge. double Desert Raider. He's actually spamming into them.
I mean, never underestimate the Desert Raider as a unit, right? Even when it comes to dealing with pretty much any sort of unit, whether it be cavalry or infantry. They kind of do it all. But they can be a little bit squishy, especially when up against the Sipahi.
Most definitely. You need to be careful if your opponent just kind of catch you off guard and catches you with a wave of them. Obviously, the goal is just to intercept, kill straight away because of that healing. But that's why this matchup's really cool. Like, if Almonds get forced to defend, they still have imams. And although Desert Raiders can be threatening, scaling them to the point where they can instantly kill the imams is quite difficult.
Horseman now also being added in for Puppet Paw, so it's going to have an additional front line that isn't going to be taking bonus damage from the Sipahi. Never mind, cancels that. Might just be looking for a Castle Age follow-up. He's floating a lot of food, but doesn't have that many villagers on gold yet. Never mind, switches that around. Never mind, switches them off, and back to gold. Okay, there we go. A little back and forth there.
You're like the internal monologue of someone with ADHD's brain. No, I ain't gonna do that. Now we move across here. Oh, wait. Oh, look. Oh, a deer jumped out there. I'm gonna move over the deer now. Oh, we got the deer. And actually, no, I think I might go back to the wood. Wood looks good.
You know, situations can change. Sometimes you want to get the gold, and then the next second you maybe don't.
I love those situations when you catch it. Even at pro level, where they just keep walking back and forth to a resource. Like, I'm not sure if I want this yet. Little raid coming in.
Uncertainty can always occur.
But are we certain about the choice? Is it industry time? Does he put on his big monocle and his cigar, and then he's like, you know...
Nah,
no,
stop hovering over advisors.
Stop,
No.
get away.
Maybe reinforcement. Reinforcement wing would make a lot more sense.
Go for the one above Adabex. The one above Adabex is the one we want.
Yes. Oh, never mind, Market. It's got to be industry.
Yeah.
Market clearly signalizes the industry wing choice here from Puppy Paw.
Disappointed. He's 2-1. He's got to lead. This is the time to do gambling.
It is, isn't it?
Seriously, I feel like it's the only time you can justify it. If you were behind in a series, you go gambling, you kind of deserve every bad roll.
Yeah, the time's going to be a little bit rough for him, though. Oh boy, he's trying to rush the outpost up, but is he really in a situation where he can be fine even with the outpost? Has enough for arrow slits in placement, is going to be getting that one in ASAP now, but Vortex, he's already knocking on the door.
Needs to get the imams up here, though. They're on the other side of the base. I think they're following us up, so a little bit split on his positioning. Decent amount of sheep to work with. Poppy Paw can sell the stone for the gold. He doesn't necessarily need to keep gathering, but obviously it's beneficial if you do, because you want to try and get that Lancer count up, considering Vortex doesn't have a solution to that.
Goes Pahi roaming around. Outpost. Now, the Ayubids still have the same bonus that the Abbasid have, with the additional fire armor on buildings in the influence of the House of Wisdom. So it's not going to be that easy or that quick to take the outpost down, even without fortifications. There are a lot of units here. Some are getting thrown away, though. Around a cheap price.
Is Vortex going to get the timing on this? I mean, we don't have any rams coming, is the problem. So it's very frustrating to try and break this location. I mean, in fairness, he might just be waiting for the tech up and then go for the dive, right? Kind of milk it to the maximum. In fact, what on earth is Puppy Paw doing? That is greedy. No wheelbarrow. He runs out. The Sipahi straight away move across, and they'll be able to intercept, activates the Fortitude, and punishes Puppy Paw for a gluttonous move.
3 villagers taken down here. A couple of archers also going to go down. Healing is still active.
Imam's untouched.
And actually, he's not taking the worst trades here, considering that he's about to age up. But Vortex actually isn't that far off his own age up either.
And impressively,
doesn't have that much time.
With this play around the area, the imams are never threatened once, right? You'd think they would get a little bit too close, surely get target fired down, but no. So Puppy Paw does get his age up, yes, has got that stone to work with, and he will immediately look to sell it. Yeah, so he just mashed the button down, got rid of it all straight away. I think. Oh no, wait, yeah, he did. I'm even double checking the minimap. It didn't look like he got a lot of gold, to be honest, but he did just queue up 4 camel lancers.
Pretty good deal. And now also able to start picking up some of the relics with the dervishes. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't run them straight into the army like he might be doing so in the middle. Fortitude activated, and that's a dead early dervish.
Yeah, and that's going to be problematic here. Both of them played for their healing figures, right? So they're both thinking about those relics as key objectives. However, no, come on, don't you come, no.
He gets taken down.
Damn right, you should die.
That would have been brutal if that one actually managed to get away. They're so quick, KP.
They shouldn't be. I don't understand. It's like, you know what, you see it for what it really is when you watch this matchup of like the dervish compared to the imam. It's like the imams are fairly balanced, right? You know, like they can't heal themselves, they move really slow. And then there's the dervish.
Yep, they do their thing. It's gonna start uncapping that outpost, point of interest there.
It's Mehmed coming in soon. And then we start to really see that military school usage pump up off of the armor itself, as well as the extra points that'll be coming through. Like right now, he only has one military school because he was clearly trying to all in. Now you kind of readjust. And we already talked about that deer location moved out to. It's going to be problematic because Camel Lancer spam begins, and it even catches him not looking on the Madrissa.
It's going to be 3-4 villagers taken down.
Yeah, griefed himself. The scout actually got in the way, so the villager couldn't run away, pathed again. Meanwhile, dives onto the armory. More idle time. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and behind this, there was TC idle time yet again from Vortex. Kind of been a theme so far in these games. Almost losing out on 2 workers here.
Just kind of brute forcing him. Camel Lance is going again. Spinman count incredibly low. Healing not going to be good enough. Should just be able to start sniping through it. And the gold workers, I mean, they just have to keep harvesting. He needs as much as he can get. He might need to start trading here because his food income is looking abysmal.
Imams have been sacrificed, so isn't going to be able to get any relics quickly. This should open up the way for Puppy Paw to get relics, but instead we do have a Sipahi raid coming in as well.
Fortune's a beast, remember. Like, these are just as effective as Camel Lancers DPS-wise. It's insane. Look at the kills.
Better even. Almost gets another worker there. Just like that, will count equalized again. Almost.
However, it's coming at a cost now because we start to be real about the defensive strategy right now. Vortex needs to get some more boyos out. He doesn't even have the Janissary point as a clutch here with only 1 military school plus the Mehmed, which feel pretty weak. He's at least getting his first Lancers out, but you know, I feel like he's going to need... Do you try and sneak Janissary here? Like actively build them maybe? Because he's got a lot of gold.
You should. You could definitely just get a couple in. The issue, of course, is that there's also archers at the moment out from Puppy Paws. I'm not sure if maybe just crossbows would be better. Crossbows, especially with the meta buff, they're quite competitive even up against archers. Same range, but with the attack speed and more damage, they actually trade quite nicely there.
Looks like it's going to be Janissaries. Queues up free. I think it makes sense because I can't see where you come from crossbows, but then my brain's like, yeah, more meat ratio, right? Whereas like Janissaries are bulk gold cost. And he was forced to overgather on that gold when he got raided by the Camel Lancers.
I make this choice a lot of times as well, going for the Janissaries, but every time I just think back and I'm like, crossbows could have done the same thing and would have been much cheaper gold-wise.
But it's about efficiency, Crackety, okay? It's about making sure all your numbers are as close to 0 as possible. That's why when I play the game, I don't even gather.
Yeah, I mean, the Madras is definitely something that you do want to gather from. More raids coming in yet again.
This Sipahi. That's so ridiculous. Veteraned up as well. He actually turns the chips to a fight against them. Ends up costing him dearly, though. More workers going down. That is why you don't challenge Sipahi. They are brutal.
Gets another one. Oh, my God.
All right. Eco lead for Vortex.
Somehow, with over a minute of TC idle time, yeah.
Relic game is looking good for Puppy Paw, though. Vortex has failed to get any of them, and there's already 3 banked for the Ibid. So that at least balances things out. And we don't have more military schools, by the way. Vortex isn't even trying to build towards them.
Zero points being used. Don't have a move out onto stone at the moment from Vortex, so no additional military schools coming in quite yet. Queues up even more Janissaries, but Puppy Paw already on 15 archers.
Seeing the Cav Archer point here, I mean, I think Vortex is just looking for ways of forcing pressure elsewhere. He's heavily investing in the Janissaries now. Gonna be double digits before you know it. I guess like with the Mangonel spam behind it, it's a weirdly sort of effective comp against what the Ibids are doing.
If we get to like 3 Mangonels-ish, oh, another raid here as well. Eco count yet again, equalized.
Yeah, cuts down 1. Now you have to worry about gold. I mean, where are you going? You're moving towards the front of your base or far in the flanks in the Stealth Forest. Either one doesn't sound safe. We do have a creep in, but nice outpost by Puppypaw will tell him what's on the way. I mean, this man is infamous for his hatred of Stealth Forest, so of course he's going to protect against them. And Vortex will blindly dive into it.
Yeah, 3 Janissaries already sniped out. Another raid on the second berries. On the big raid!
Oh, come on!
On the gold
the
forward. That is
6.
so many dead villagers. And he's throwing away them.
Goes back in. I mean, I guess he feels like he needs something. He needs to get a trade. And Puppypaw, wait, he forgot about the workers.
He forgot that he has an outpost there.
Won't have it for long. Dive into the base, though, Janissaries. But we've got a gun. They've only got a sword. They got a lot of swords. They're going to jump onto the workers, forces them away. Some supply are going to arrive with the Janissaries. That's enough to scare Puppypaw back out of the base, but the push continues. Vortex, he's only up against archers in Puppypaw's base. So with the heavily armored knights, he should be able to get away with quite a lot here, but it's risky if you don't know what's coming.
Oh my god,
what?
What? I was
I'm
like,
sorry,
where did Vortex use that many builds? But now we see.
He's just... Are you noticing a pattern here? Vortex, any game where Puppypaw is able to aggress a little bit harder, things begin to unravel. It's an 8-worker lead now, more than that with the Relic game. And Vortex needs answers. He needs solutions. He needs them fast. Camelot,
Many Camel answers. No.
GG! Puppypaw reestablishes the lead and takes a dump on the Brutal Ottomans. What a crazy game of aggression.
So many raids, both players going for them non-stop, and just when both players are so actively looking for these raids, it tends to happen that, you know, a lot of them might go through as they're just focused on getting their own raids going rather than defending against the opponent's raids, and that is what happened here. Vortex, just so focused on trying to get kills in as well, loses a tremendous amount of workers on the outward resources.
And, you know, like, the one big difference as well is, I don't think, like, Outpost, right? Setting up Outpost, getting those visions, you know, that's something that Puppypaw used, although I forgot to garrison it, but, like, that was something exploited against Vortex, just not able to track everything early. And on a map like Pigeons View, you need to, right? Like, there's so much that can happen, so many raids, so many directions, and it almost, I don't know if for you, it felt like a repeat of game 1 to me. Like, Puppypaw unraveled Vortex again with these multifaceted raids.
Yeah, just having a couple of units on every single side there, trying to be as annoying as possible, and all paid off there in the end. Very similar, as you mentioned, to the Mali Delhi game that we did have, where it's just, when you aggress on so many different angles at the same time, it just becomes noise, and you can't really... it starts to become really hard to judge, okay, what is actually really important and what's happening at what point in time, when can I return to my resource on which side. And just makes splitting up your units, your army, so much harder as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And now we look towards Dry Arabia with an Abbasid pick coming through. Okay.
Abbasid versus Goku, okay.
Would we class this as a free win?
I wouldn't call it a free win. Oh, okay, who would you call this a free win for?
Sengoku is, I think, what most people would assume.
Nah, this isn't a free win. Abbasid has like all the tools in theory to counter out a civilization like the Sengoku, mainly because, of course, they do have the much better spearmen as well, so they're able to sustain that timing. They can remain in feudal age for a good bit longer. I want to say it depends on how greedy Puppypaw goes, but long term, I think this is like a game where if Abbasid doesn't die within the first 15 minutes, they probably won't die.
Yeah, I think it's also like it's eco timing, right? Is, you know, Sengoku could have this great burst of food in the early mid game off the Yatais, and it can be infinite food potentially. But on the flip side, Abbasids, they've got fresh foodstuffs. They've got the Golden Age, tier 1 for 15% gathering. They actually have a lot of complementary elements to make them just as lean and efficient as the idea of these Yatais.
I think like with the Phalanx Spearman that you got in as well, like super strong Spearman overall, and typically food economy wise, Abbasid, they can go for a really early farm transition with the Fertile Crescent. Just very cheap farms overall, very cheap buildings overall, cheap villagers all at the same time. I think they're pretty fine in this matchup overall.
Yeah.
Especially since the Mounted Samurai don't have the deflective armor for a long time, so Camel Riders actually are able to take pretty good trades against them as well.
The Camel Riders, yeah. I mean, they're able to chase down as well the camel handling. Actually, not so much against Sengoku with the movement speed, but like you can technically still gap close. It's interesting though. I feel like we rarely see Camel Riders, even when they statistically make sense. They never seem to rear their ugly head.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on the player because, like, Camel Riders, they have a very different standing in most matchup because, of course, they're niche, so you rarely see them in 1v1s. But in team games, they're actually meta, so team game players especially have a much different appreciation for the Camel Rider overall.
I still remember, I think it might have been Dragavan, and like he came in my chat. He's just given the challenge to go win with Camel Riders, and he queued into Avali. And like Avali came in off the game, like he almost lost it, right? He's like, "What the hell is going on there?" And he's like, "I think they're actually really good." So I think you're right. You just need a few people that are convinced, that have great conviction for the camels, to then go out and convince the rest, and maybe then we'll see them start to arrive. Because the Lancer, I get the logic. It's a good jack of all trades, whereas Camel Riders exceed them as specialists.
All right, the timer is hitting 0, so now it is time for us to jump into our game number 4 between Puppy Paw and Vortex. At the moment, Puppy Paw, he's leading with the scoreboard 3-1 against Vortex. Can Vortex turn this one around with the Sengoku Daimyo? It feels like he's got the stronger civilization here, but the opposite, mention it, they do have all the tools that they need in order to deal with one of those, strong cavalry civilizations in the game. So we'll have to see just exactly how this one is going to be playing out.
Should be an interesting one. I mean, in theory, with the early economical elements, such as cheaper workers, the Golden Age, you'd think that they would have the economical capacity, especially when you realize that Sengoku, they do have the Yatais, but if that gets shut down at all, there's a big question mark over how efficient they are going to feel here. Looking at the spawn, I mean, Vortex, it's, I want to say, a decent one. The boar is fairly close to base. He's already got the Yatai on top of it.
Yeah, so it's going to be getting a good amount of food from that.
Ooh, but there is a trade-off here, right? You're seeing the placement of that Matsuri. It's not buffing much.
It's buffing gold and eventual farms, and that's about it. So yeah, it's going to have to go for another Matsuri at some point if he wants to, buff up something like the berries,
like
for
the
example.
Yeah, I think for the wood, right? Because like in this matchup, I wonder if Yumi's, I don't want to say an absolute must, but it feels like that's a direction you're going to be forced into, especially when you mention early things like the Bastard Spearman. What's it going to be from Puppy Paw? Probably just a good old melee wing, I guess.
It could be military wing. Honestly, I would personally also just still see economy wing with just a single TC, just courtesy of the cheaper farm transition, helping you out there as well, getting some nicer timings that way.
He's anxious for it as well. A little bit of gold down to be dropped off, and we should be getting the full picture painted. I mean,
is military.
Yeah, melee. Okay. I was gonna say, like this type of spawn, your opponent's got forward spawn in gold, but so do you. So like, there's a back and forth risk here.
Vortex sending some villagers out in order to start gathering from that boar. It's always nice when you have a Yatai nearby that's just gonna be,
Here we go.
making that board chill a little bit.
It's, you know what it is? It's it's the aroma.
Acupuncture.
Yeah, it's the aroma of the hot dogs. They're soothing, right? You smell them, and you know when you have that with some foods where you smell them, it just takes you back to your childhood. He thought he was Pumbaa. Turns out he was just porked.
Thought he was getting some relish on that hot dog.
He's like, oh yeah, the double hot dog with the mustard. I'm looking forward to. What do you mean I'm the hot dog? So great.
What do you mean
right now.
I'm the hot dog? Yeah, right.
They just roll out 2 giant pieces of bread, like just cram them in there. So that's gonna
What
be a
are you,
healthy
an idiot
food.
sandwich?
I mean, that ball would be the biggest idiot sandwich you can make. Has Poppy Paw scouted it? No, he only just arrived back in base. I wonder if he's going to check in on it straight away, because there's still a lot of map he hasn't actually looked at.
I mean, that's where the military wing can come in handy, just having the units out on the field immediately to start putting some pressure on your opponent. It looks so far like he hasn't actually moved over to stone at all, so it's just a 1 TC play at the moment from him. So 1 TC aggression maybe coming out from the Abbasid here. It's going to be an interesting one.
Man, interesting. Vortex on his way now with the Coca. Decent-ish amount of wood gathering. You know, he's already got the 3 ties out, so he doesn't have to be that aggressive. He's got plenty of stone if he needs to set up an outpost and get in placements too. But I guess the tricky thing is, like, you don't really want to rely on a building to protect you there, because it's kind of comically easy for Abbasid to ram that down.
Horseman now coming in as well.
Yeah, the classic
1-1-1 army composition.
Yeah, it's like a long time ago it got decided to be the most effective way, right? Because then you have all angles covered. Because like realistically, if you don't do it, Sengoku just drop an archery and build 3 Yumi, and it's like actually a really cost-efficient way for them to counter military wing. Almost in position now. I guess Vortex is just going to be prepped to pull back. Like, no attempt to defend this if it gets seen straight away. It wouldn't make sense. But instead, actually, I don't think Poppy Paw knows.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the boar yet. Hasn't noticed it.
Which is weird, because if you just check it through fog, right, it's going to be missing. You're like, okay, I know what's happening here. And
he's cutting
yeah,
out
he even
outpost,
builds
though,
the
so he's
outpost.
ready.
Okay. Poppy Paw, despite the fact he does see this, okay, he's now bringing them back. The archers and spears were checking the berries first. They are in the way. And he is starting to stockpile, so we should be seeing a ram coming in momentarily. Now this feels weird from Sengoku.
Is he going to try and snipe the trader? Because that one is going to bring 50 food over to Vortex.
I think it's too late
Not
now.
insignificant. Yeah, now it's too late. He notices, but on it late.
Now
That's a
keep
good
in
amount of food that
mind,
came in.
we've got Yari cavalry coming through to mirror the horseman play. The ram is going to have a big problem here, especially because that outpost, that house out there, that already gives Sengoku a way of spawning their ninjas in the fight.
Yeah. It's going to be a rough one to really make the siege work here. Oppo still trying to go for it. Barracks also coming in, so it's going to be able to reinforce more spear, and most importantly also get the hardened spearman upgrade. But we already have the daimyo making its way across. Fortification also about to hit. What a timing here.
I love it. I love the priority of arrow slits, just to make it impossible to kill. We already have the daimyo arriving, starting to whittle away at this. Villagers are going to just pull the torches because there's no archers here to intercept. Even just micros them back into the tower one by one, so will be a successful denial. Daimyo is going to take a decent amount of damage, but just such a tanky unit against only 2 spears. However, does get a worker, almost pinch the daimyo as well. Final torch hull is going to come through? No, it's edging. I think he just throws the Yari away. Nice blocker there. Archer got in the way of it. Are you kidding me? No way.
Oh, with the arrow fire, he managed to get it.
That was disgustingly close. That Archer body block was sick. Yari was meant to finish that with ease. Not able to, but now he should be able to scare him away. Outpost survives. Horsemen are going to try to poke at the Yatai, but it's just so tanky. He just has to go and build another ram to try this again. At least he has forced the Yatai home. Shinobi? Look at the micro. Love this from Vortex. Just skims off to the side. Forces the cancel. That's huge. And the grenades even get an archer kill.
Yeah, the aggression from Poppy Paw pretty much completely denied here now.
What's what they
He's
say,
going
you know?
for another ram, and it's still visible.
Well, what's what they always say? You need a balanced composition of melee and range. Well, Sengoku, just grenade's good enough. Yatai is going to be in trouble now, but he dives onto it. Finds the Spearman. He's going to deny the ram. He already done some damage to it. It's a cancellation.
Cancel it, cancel it!
It's not even coming through. He's so focused on killing the Atai. Yari are now moving over. This is such a messy attempt. Puppy Paw has been denied 3 times on this dive.
Man. Crazy, crazy early aggression here.
Gotta be feeling like a spurned lover at this stage. Cam Archer even now added in to try and counteract the Yari. We already have Yuumi now being prepped by Vortex. Now, also, keep in mind, like, he did already invest in the Takeda clan, so he doesn't have Oda as a functional alternative, right? Like, that's a pretty important detail. He's missing out on that +1 for probably a little bit more time. It doesn't seem like he wants to rush Stone after all.
Yeah, so for the time being, the archers, as you mentioned, are going to be quite weak, at least in comparison. That's a big benefit here for the Camel Archer. No pierce armor, but relatively high health.
Such an annoying outpost to beam. And the choice to go fortification of arrow flicks, so important here.
Yeah, now with arrow slits as well, it's going to make it even harder to take down.
Rax as well. Vortex. I mean, it's a good play from Puppy Paw. Then the Camel Archers, of course, do counteract Spearman quite nicely with the double damage.
Spearman still coming in. Double Camel Archers so far. I'm not sure. Like, okay, there we go. Finally, Vortex also adding in the spears. It's gonna help him a lot with the army composition. Probably gonna be necessary. Looks like another hot dog stand has been found out.
I'm sure they'll kill it in time.
Surely.
It's not like you could click your Yari across here and arrive in time, but he's distracted right now. He's busy dealing with rams. I mean, honestly,
yeah, ram goes down.
Losing a hot dog stand to beat a ram is a pretty damn good trade. Oh yeah, the Shinobi as well.
It's coming in.
It's such a weird fight because that you got the camel on knees on one side, but then you got the Shinobi damage buff on the other. And no, come on! Oh
He's
no!
Just got
all that work.
All the damage repaired in an instant.
And he even loses a horseman.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough one here. Rough opener to this game now.
So
the weird part is that it doesn't really feel like there's like an immediate game plan transition now for Paul. Like, what can he really do? Like, he's going all in into this feudal age play. We're now seeing even more Camel Archers being added on top of the army.
And there's the Oda clan that we were waiting for. So this is where things get threatening. You know, the Yuumi going to be ramping up. They get the extra +1. So at that stage, they actually start to feel like a true threat. It's a tricky one from here, isn't it? You know, it does feel like it's scaling exactly where Sengoku needs it to. And with the correct army comp as well. I guess if you can just get one good raid, though. I mean, that's the good idea with the Camel Archers, right? Like, they can be good raiders, but I always find it dangerous to do that when you know your opponent has Yari and has the swiftness movement speed.
Yeah. I mean, having this many Camel Archers, it means that Vortex, like, he wants to go into Spearman, but realistically, he can't really make a lot of them. Just because they get sniped out so quickly by the Camel Archers. They have a lot quicker attack speed than normal archers as well. With the bonus damage, they take them down tremendously fast.
Cannibal Samurai it is.
Vortex to take. Yeah, sure.
They're a bit pricey, but I mean, it would give you a very stable front line, I guess. Yari, creep around the back. Walls are going to be coming up, so Vortex just removing the threat potential. I mean, this now worries me more with this Cam Archer idea. Like, you're not going to have anywhere to sneak in at this rate.
Yeah, walls are definitely going to make it harder. A lot harder for Piper to get these sneak attacks in. Still try and go. Walls are going to be finalized now, though. Might get a villager here. Oh, the Spearman up around in time.
Just clip onto him.
Gets villager killed.
Nicely played, and he's even going to creep over. There's only horsemen here to protect, so he needs to run. No Spearman nearby. He's trying to rally them back home. Yari, I mean, even if they get the horseman kills, it'd be pretty damn nice. Just hang around as long as is feasible.
The unfortunate reality behind this, though, is that even though Vortex did just kill a couple of villagers yet again, the growing TC idle time, the theme that we've seen here so far, just means that, yet again, Poppypaw, he's ahead in the economy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been that way for a long time, right? Like, you got those worker kills early on. Oh, that is huge. Oh, what a catch! Yari, shrinking numbers. It's all in on Yuumi now. And look at the horseman count. We wondered, how is Puppypaw going to answer? How is he going to solve it? This may be exactly what he needed. He's brute forcing into this fight. He's not even showing any sort of formation, flank attack. He's just ham fist sending it. Shinobi do get a clip of the grenades. But at this point, the only thing that Vortex can do is snipe out Spearman. He still doesn't have a horseman solution.
Just not enough Yari remaining here. We trying to run back for their lives, but it's just not enough of a front line. Although it's going to help him get this army back to safety.
Puppypaw got to be feeling confident with that. I mean, that's huge.
Becomes massive.
It's massive, and also, like, the army value difference is pretty important here. You know, like, the military pop, oh, it's a 10 lead. It's big. Doesn't seem that big, though. Until you remember that Yuumi are cheap. Horsemen are not. That's the big difference maker. And it's just going to be so easy for him to try and find raid targets now. Like, we can even just see this burn down. Yeah, he's thinking about it. He's going to force the fight. Cam Arch is moving with the horseman in tandem. Base the Spearman forward, which means Cam Arch is going to wipe them out straight away. Dives past them, straight on chasing into the base. We've got new Daimyo spawning, but nowhere near to buff the attack speed of anyone. And Vortex is becoming more and more reliant on only bows to try and hold back the Arabic wave.
Army value almost 3-1 at the moment. Another raid coming in, a Daimyo and the Yari cavalry, but yeah, I mean, he killed a good couple of villagers here.
Yeah, but like, but Puppypaw's building more of a worker lead. Look at the top. What's going on?
TC idle time. He's just not actively producing villagers anymore.
Now the Cam Archer horseman, he splits them off to deal with this. Shinobi gets spawned. He just leaves some around to idle on the pig. It just feels like Vortex between a rock and a hard place. And, you know, he said that at the start that Bass is not the worst idea in the world against Sengoku. It looked bad at the beginning. It looked like a struggle. But Basid still able to reach that peak formation. Chasing onto the Yuumi. Another bad fight waiting to happen. He's trying to go for snipes. Those camel archers just don't die easily. Neither do the horsemen.
But the spearmen, they just getting one shot with every single volley from these camel archers.
Villages.
Archers jumping inside the TC. A little TC hope coming in there.
I'll save a few lives.
Here.
But look at Puppypaw's macro. He's going for castle. Like, there's no pressure on his base anymore. I think we've seen, like, maybe the Daimyos previously trying to raid. I don't mind Vortex doing that. Like, the attack speed is less effective against with range shoots than melee units. But, you know, the fact that he's even trying to find a way of raiding at all while under this pressure shows you how dire Vortex feels the situation is.
Camel Archer is just so tanky. One does go down, though. Premium, a lot of premium units here that move from Poppypaw, but yeah, as you mentioned, should be Castle H coming in sooner rather than later. Lots of horsemen chasing behind a couple of the Yari. And oh my god, he's...
What? you're not... Hey, you're not eating this, right? You're still on the hot dog. I'm pretty sure you're still eating the big pig. Okay, I'll take this off your hands. Oh my god.
He's just stealing the deer from
He doesn't have to
Vortex.
stop
Who
there.
needs Pro Scout?
Like, look, he's waiting for this too. He's just gonna move from one to the other to the other. This is gonna be a starvation game.
And an overchop!
Oh no!
Oh,
no,
that's
no!
GG.
The cams! They get in! And wait, the panic?
What, he's going back?
I've got textiles, bro. Don't try me. I think he will. That's now a 10 worker lead. And Puppypaw ready to trigger castle.
Oh my god.
What a game. What a series out of Puppypaw. I mean, this is turning into destruction. It's turning into a mirrored repeat at this rate of the other finals. Raid does connect to some workers, but...
Still trying to go for a snipe, yeah, but... Like, Vortex, how is he gonna catch up in the timing here? Not even sure if he's aware of the H-up yet behind this. Fortification on both outposts as well. These are not gonna go down anytime soon.
And, you know, we could just wait for the tech up and maybe add in Springles. That's always an option there, just to make sure he can never fight you.
He's trying to go for Rams now.
18 minutes. Oh boy. When your opponent has mass horsemen as well, remember? I mean, well, less of a mass than before, but 14 is still bloody strong. And he's even creeping in on you again. The cam archers get in range, horsemen as well. Villager pull away a little bit too slow. Shinobi have to be summoned just to get them away. That's a please leave me alone, ninja. Yari are going to look to emerge on top of the cam archers, but the horsemen just muddy the fight with great ease. And this is all just to keep Vortex in his base, while Puppy Paw goes for the real win at home.
And he's going for the proxy barracks into
Are you kidding me?
Did I just hear a screenshot sound?
You did. It's so rare. we had to commemorate this moment. Must have an American production crew in right now. They're like, NA's done it. They're almost there. They're about to be one game away, and they're gonna do it by beating Sengoku with Mass Gulam. Now this would be the situation to build Kanabo in. Oh no, and he just saw it. He forced the fight, but tech up complete. It's time to queue up Gulam. Get the barcodes ready. Boop them out. 2 for the price of 1. Boop, boop, boop. Needs time though. Archers plus the camels get chased away. Vortex, can he clear this all? I mean, the Rams are trying to deal with the outposts. So the Gulams, at least a few of them are going to be able to get out here. The workers now being punished for the greed. Free going to go down.
Oh, he's positioning in between the...
Oh my god. It's going to be another 5 down.
He's going to take him down.
The villagers, they try to scramble in.
That's a mid.
Not enough room. Comes back in. The Gulams do arrive now. There's not much melee left here. It's just Yumi. Yumi, they're going to struggle against the Gulams. Puppy Paw. He's invested all the food. Look at his food income. If he can't gather here, he's got a zeal at home. Rams.
Just plummeted.
He's got rid of a second.
Over to the second.
Yumi.
To the other deer.
The lead is shrinking. Vortex still has to deal with the conundrum of getting castle, but he's not dead yet.
It's looking rough. It's still looking rough. Daimyo's doing a good job, but now the archers got veterancy on them as well.
I feel like that was the best that he could have hoped for, right? Like in that situation, yeah, it's not enough. GG comes through. He is dead now. Puppy Paw locks it in. He is now 1 game away from locking in his first S-tier title.
Yeah, now on match point, total resource gap. Vortex even ahead in the overall resource gap. And to be fair, at the end, it was kind of like a
Hail Mary.
A lot of food villagers idled out from Puppy Paw. Yeah, something like that.
It's interesting. I was like, when he didn't call GG straight away, I was like, maybe he's got food and he's got Kanabo Samurai. And then you look at the minimap, like, oh, that's right. Like, both of them are fighting for this food. That's what made that such a glorious ending, is like, whoever has to walk away from here will be foodless, right? You had the deer, you had the berries, the other deer. It was a crafty idea by Puppy Paw. And props to him, man. A Civ that most people would rank D tier, and he wins against an S tier ranked Civ.
Yeah, it just goes to show there are just so many matchups that are still left to be fully explored. And I was thinking about it, just looking at the, units that Abyssal in theory has access to. I was like, hey, yeah, actually, could work out well. To be fair, I didn't expect that much of an investment into the Camel Archers, but if it works, it works. And now that is going to lead us to our game number 5, and it's going to be on Kawasan. We'll be seeing the Knights Templar up against the Holy Roman Empire for Vortex. So he's going to have to get a victory in with the HRE up against KT.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup, actually. Knights Templar, this feels like, I want to say, the most consistent map to come out with. Was Shushi in the draft? Did Puppy Paw get both Shushi and Knights Templar? I think he did, no?
No, Shushi has...
that must have been snipe then. I would imagine that was the snipe, because Shushi is like considered to be
China, though,
the best. Got it. Yeah, so maybe it was China Knights Templar pick and then Shushi HRE, which would make sense on the drafts, I think.
We can take a look at it just to see what has been sniped out as well. Just a moment here as the highlights do conclude. This was the moment where just tons of Yari cavalry just got pinched, sniped out, and...
I mean, this was A-click mode, right?
That was the brunt of Vortex's army that he just lost there just before the big fight.
Like strategically, your brain switches off here, because like, okay, the Abbasid force is so big, we just A-click. Like, yeah, oh, wow, he's sniping all the spin with the Yumi. It's like, yes, but look at how many horsemen there are. it gives me PTSD flashbacks to the good old like Abbasid strats. You know, the like the mass horsemen with a single camel archer, like when we used to have mirrors.
HRE versus KT. I mean, this is an interesting one just because we know HRE as like a civilization that plays heavily into religious units and relics. We could find ourselves here in a game where both sacred signs are going to be kept for the HRE and Knights Templar just cannot get any pilgrims out. That could genuinely be the case here.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I wonder if we're going to actually see him convert as well, because I feel like I've seen some people really start to line with the Mindwork way, kind of like what you were seeing out of players such as, you know, B and Anatan for a long time. It can make sense here. You know, if you play the Horseman, you just get the All Pikes, you raid through really nicely. Even if your opponent goes for the French commandery, like, it's actually surprising how effective HRE Horsemen become with the Mindwork backing.
Yeah, All Pikes is just one of those upgrades that, like, you have normal Horsemen, suddenly they're as good as, like, Ghazi or a similar level as Sepayan. They just do a lot of damage up against villagers. Suddenly they need like one hit less to kill a villager, and you see Horsemen come in, you're like, I got time to micro my villagers away. Then you just suddenly see how much damage they do, and like, okay, never mind, I didn't have enough time. And yeah, they're pretty good of a unit. And we do now see that it has been Mongols and Shushi that have been sniped away here for these players. So KT up against HRE, it's a similar matchup that we've seen before. Like, twice so far in this tournament have we seen Kawasan Knights Templar up against the Order of the Dragon. This time, the HRE, I want to say, like, bigger brother of the Order of the Dragon here. It's a question, can they make something happen here against this one? Because so far, Knights Templar have won both of those games up against the Order of the Dragon.
Yeah, it's like my brain is thinking like he sniped Mongols because he's a little bit paranoid he would be allowed Shushi, right? And that leaves China for, I mean, Gorge is good for them. Golden Heights, not your go-to these days, but I've seen a few picks there. But King of the Hill, I do wonder, like, can you imagine we go all the way, it ends on King of the Hill, and it's a good old classic China? Because I feel like we don't see it on that map anymore.
China versus, what would it be? Like, French potentially try and drop a red palace in the middle of the map?
Or the Dragon, maybe?
Oh yeah, Order of the Dragon would be perfect there as well. We've seen him time and time again, just being super solid there. But enough of that. It is time for us to jump into our potential match point here. It is going to be Vortex playing as the Holy Roman Empire up against Puppy Paw with the Knights Templar. Match point for Puppy now, as we're moving over to Kawasan. And Vortex, he's greeting us with a classic Dark Age rush.
He wants to set the tempo, he wants to set the aggression. I mean, it fits because the pattern in this series really has been aggress and win. Sit and die, really, for every single game. And Poppy Paw, just a dominant lead, right? Like, the threat is on. Vortex cannot afford any more mistakes. I mean, it's such a polarizing feeling as well from a drafting perspective. Your opponent having a one-game lead, it's not something we've had a lot historically in Age of Empires 4, so it already sets you in this pressure motion. It's always been pressure, right? Like, this series has been entirely Vortex playing catch-up, which means you always feel like you have to get the upside on the draft.
Yeah, most definitely do. Puppy Paw looks like he was thinking about going for an early dog play, now decides against it. Maybe he did scout out that barracks and does decide, okay, I'm just quickly going to be grabbing all the gold that I need for an age up, and then I'll just go age up, and I'll think about water after I hit feudal.
Yeah, I think this makes sense as well, of how quickly you can get that tech up. The question is going to be, which direction do we go in? You know, I said about like the potential French commandery, even though it's not that popular these days. I think now that you're seeing Spearmen, probably not. Likely one, I think, would be Hospitaller. Even received a few buffs. I don't still feel like we're in a situation where you necessarily want to build the unit that you get for that. But I have seen... Or melee?
You're 3 games up, so you just say fuck it and you go for the sergeants.
Oh, whoa. You got an axe to grind, or throw in this situation. What? Are you just that desperate for them to win?
It's a pretty cool...
Wait,
oh.
No.
That's a first villager kill. But lose the spearman for it, but... I mean, that's worth it. That's absolutely worth it. And he gets a dock up behind this?
He's not skipping a beat.
Tempo advantage now for Vortex, yeah.
Like, that's insane. One spearman into dock. The confidence in that. I don't even know if it's confident as much as, oh, he's already gathering gold. This isn't going to do anything. And into a, oh, wait, I got to kill. Let's replace that spearman. Because he's going to want the one at least to try and intercept the pullout towards the ponds.
Is he going to go for another pond? No, there's another spearman coming up.
Yeah, like I said, you just want this to guard the sides, right? Because you know Poppy Paw is going to try to get out. So this way you at least force him to archery. And then you can potentially follow up like Horseman Mine Work on a delay. I don't know though, like with this spawn, Arkan does seem delicious. Like have you seen the back tree line he got? You know, where they've... What was the term I'm
With the
looking
little,
like?
little curve there? I mean...
Yeah, you know when you got like germs that absorb other germs? I can't remember what the term is. It's like just trying to eat it.
Got some Agario. Yeah.
Can we just get that up on stream? Definitely not going to get complaints from Microsoft.
Surely not.
It's okay, they can just go buy it. So is Hospital?
Vortex has a pretty good one, pretty good spot there next to gold and the wood line for an Arkan. Could be a classic Spanish Arkan.
Like, what you mean, let's like make sure there's not enough room for farms.
Yeah, make sure you
Jam
fit
few
as many
houses.
buildings as possible in between, like next to the Arkan Chapel.
Because structurally, buildings are stronger when they're put close together, okay?
Yeah, same goes for wildfires.
Yeah. Because like that
Wildfires
way...
are also stronger when buildings are next to each other.
Exactly. And if there's a wildfire, then your enemy can't go on your base because it's dangerous.
Is that how Manganiques work?
Pretty much. You know, it's scorched earth strategies just before they were called that. Ignore the screams as well. You know, you were just in a game against the Abbasids. Like, you probably got used to hearing innocent scream.
Asia should be coming in now, and it is going to be a mine work instead. Okay, so Vortex opting for the mine work.
How is it you don't say that in the most German way possible?
Minewerk.
There we go. That's the ASMR moment in Age of Empires category. Archer's opening as expected. Poppy Paw already getting an archer ship out just to secure his own pond. And Vortex, I mean, he's got all the boxes ticked for allowing horseman spam here. Could even give him a way of denying those docks down the line. But Crackety, you have to burn them super hard, like wildfire mode hard, because Knights Templar docks are not docks.
They're housing ballistas. They're
That's
harbors.
true. Exactly. They are infinitely more tanky. And that's why you have to pay an insane amount more.
They don't look the part, but they are. Trust me, bro.
That's how it works, you know? Like muggers, they never...
I wish
that's
they
what
made
they
them
tell
bigger.
you. Yeah,
I wish they just
really
made them
should.
bigger.
You know, because I feel like, you know what it is? It's like, if someone had if I was going to get mugged by someone, but they had, like, a springled gun underneath a trench coat, I feel like I'd see a bulk versus not having a weapon at all. Like, you just can't tell them apart from standard docks at all.
Yeah.
Unless you click on them, and, I mean, who reads?
You always have to consider, okay, I'm up against Knights Templar, but if you don't consider it...
Imagine team gamers, though. Imagine you're a team player, and you use the every enemy is red, and then all allies are like, what color is it? Yellow? I can't remember. Then you
Something that we actually... Yeah, something that we actually haven't talked about yet is Vortex is actually struggling a little bit for food on the land side.
Oh.
It's only got 5 sheep remaining, and there's still a lot of sheep that haven't been picked up yet. Archer is harassing the gold a little bit, but already do have the prelate healing up there. Looks like Vortex is trying to go for a fast castle age follow-up behind this, while Poppy Paw did invest into some archers.
So it's a bard and armor build. Interesting. And I mean, wait, is this is just one prelate? Why is Poppy Paw not trying to shoot him like the entire time?
He was using advanced camouflage technology.
Are we sure that Archer didn't just like want good target practice? You know, he's like getting warmed up. He's like, all right, I bullseyed everything. I'm ready for the real fight.
Oh, that's a quick dock coming up. 3 villagers working on that. Poppy Paw isn't gathering stone behind this, so it's not for an immediate ballista. Same time, Archer still trying to be annoying on the gold.
Dying from the gold. A little bit of an ambitious dive. Not Archers? Okay, that's gonna hurt a bit. So pump begins. Poppy Paw building his own archer ship just to try and harass everything out here. But look at that burn damage. He'll be done by the time that my daughter's in high school.
How long
It's
is
going to
that?
take a while. Well, she's only like almost 4, so we've got some time. It's like where you want one of those, you know, the what are they called? Where like you have the vlogs and they speed everything up, the timeline videos.
Oh yeah, yeah. The one dude just staring emptily into the camera as he just grows older and older and older.
That's it. And you just slowly see a tiny fire begin in the fortress harbor. So he's going for the
Outlaws are
spring
coming
follow-up.
on.
Notice
And
he
it's
does
full army
not want
composition,
flaming
but the
blisters.
archship's going down before. This is the weird thing to me. Like, I feel like you just get so much value out of those ballistas.
It's like DPS-wise for the cost, I don't think it's actually any better than arrow slits, right? But it looks cooler.
Probably not. It looks cooler and...
No,
I
not
mean,
that ability. We don't care about that ability. The one on the
Almost
top right.
closer.
Yeah, yep, I there's a few sprinkled abilities in here.
yeah.
Yep. There's a little nudge up.
Almost. Holder.
That's Imperial Age. I don't think it's going to go that.
Okay, we're just going to look... Oh, come on, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, you're almost
He's
there.
doing
The
it
one to the
intentionally.
left, one
He's
to the
doing
left.
it
One-
intentionally, I
No, he's
swear.
doing it right. It's just the one to the left in the HRE dock. That's the tech we want.
Okay, now we're just going to look at land.
That's pretty much that, but on fire and in the feudal age. We are grand finals, man. Yeah, this thing right here. Get a hold of yourself. It's weird.
It's actually not
like
that
it does,
expensive. 25 more wood and like 25 more stone.
yeah, but I think it does like
50 more
7
resources.
more damage, and that's it. It's like 20. It does 20% more damage than naval arrow slits. It just looks 12 times cooler.
Doesn't it also attack faster?
I think it's the same attack speed.
I'm not sure. I never used it.
It
just
it
making
looks
stuff
cool.
up.
It also has that weird bug sometimes where it will shoot
It shoots
further
across
than
the
it's
map?
meant to. I've also seen it shoot wildlife on land. So
Oh, Vortex running out of food on land. First
Iron
knight's
Arm's
coming
coming,
in. Yeah.
this should
I was
be
trying to follow with the age up.
this would be Angevin
The
spears,
nice
right?
relics. It should be.
Nice
I
to know
don't
as
think
well.
we're going to be seeing Genitors this time around.
Are you sure? Vortex is
I am absolutely positive.
I think he's from Castile.
I swear to God, if we see something like Genitors again, okay, thank God.
You say that.
Like that should be
It's one game.
That should be an immediate disqualification.
What would you just like put underneath it? He for showing genitals. It's a mistype,
sure.
but it's believable. Angevin Empire, 30 seconds out. This is going to give him the armored spears, which kind of just balances out against the now very heavily armored knights.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for Bobby Paul. Has to fall off from the gold. It's going to be getting a good amount of gold in from the next couple of pilgrims that will make their way towards that sacred site. But yeah, that's going to be enough to afford you a good bunch of heavy spearmen. Upgrade-wise, it'll be hard to afford upgrades at the same time, though. He's probably going to need some more barracks than just the one.
Yeah, this is a little bit greedy. Maybe he thinks there's more focus on water. But we can see Vortex is gung-ho on land. Does reveal the first of the knights. Relics moving out towards the wider flanks. He's only got one relic on the way home currently. And Puppy Paw doesn't really have the bandwidth currently to go for them too. He's just prepping the true Castle Age answers. Spears plus the crossbows.
Puppy Paw really tried hard to deny some of the relics here, but the way the map is open at the moment looks like Vortex might get away with all of them. With the Arachnids, that's gonna be pretty tough for Puppy Paw to combat.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you go this type of comp. Like, if it's at least Templar Bros, you can mirror. But I think that's the beauty of the Mindwork design is, like, you know, normally Templar Bros, you can kind of favor them against standard knights. Adding the extra +2 armor, nah, it's not a great exchange anymore. So just put it in this
Point-blank
weird bind
charge.
where he had to be slow. And, oh god,
Couple of villagers.
he's creeping, man. And wait,
Yeah,
that
Vortex
guy
getting
leaves
big
safety.
value.
Finds the crossbows again. He's just ignoring the Angevin spears.
Is it even worth putting villagers in the TC against barded armor?
You know when you know it's futile, but if you don't try, your teammates are going to call you out. It's that.
You gotta at least like
It look like you
you're
thought
trying.
it was real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you gotta. If everyone else believes, it's like being in a cult. If you say it's a bad idea, you're probably going to get shot and your body's going to get thrown in a trench. So just nod your head and agree with all, and then pray
All gonna
that
be
you
good.
don't lose too fast.
iPod did send a single villager out to the gold in the corner. Knights are walking towards that position.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, but you told me I'd be safe here.
I thought this was gonna be a peaceful mission.
As you say, as a wolf has been mauling his face the whole time. Oh no,
And more villagers tried to go that way.
The timing on this is just getting disgusting.
Yeah, Puppy Paw with the slow-moving infantry just trying to follow up. It's so hard to just run after these knights every single time. They're just so much quicker.
It's just a big pacing issue, really, isn't it, as well as the concern here? You know, like, the food is just eclipsing what you're able to gather on gold. It's just stopping you getting a real comp. Knights even hanging around for the occasional Angevin spear. It's really only the crossbows you're worried about. You know, when you go this type of knight comp and your opponent's playing fishing, like, you see how loose everything is. The spears, these are slower spearmen. And the crossbows, just as slow. You can't keep pace with this.
Knights yet again wrapping around. Running
like
over towards the gold.
Dab the napkin on the mouth, like, you know what, I'm feeling peckish again. Only one crossbowman coming, and it's going to take at least 2 hits, probably 3 to get a kill, I think. Let's try to shivs out.
Block, not successful.
Nicely played. Still, you can't help but feel like the real problem has already occurred here, right? It's like, if we had a heat map, exactly, if we had a heat map for where Puppy Paw has been for the last several minutes, it's been in his corner.
Now Vortex behind this also starts blobbing up the crossbows. Perfect counter up against the heavy spearmen. Even more stables being added in behind this. This man plays like he has a lot of food income when he doesn't, but might still work out just courtesy of how much gold he's getting in.
Yeah, and he has a decent number of crossbows to start dealing with Angevin spears, but I love the fact that Puppy Paw is just blobbing normal spears. It kind of comically says everything it needs to about Angevin, doesn't it? That he's just choosing mass normal spears. I mean, part of it is gold issues, but it's also, like we said, chase potential, blob potential. You're a lot slower to get the English spears out than just standard. And these knights, Vortex, this is where he thrives, when he's just able to play more of a micro-intensive game.
Sacred Signs being picked up behind as well. Villagers idled out yet again. Puppy Paw only able to keep up in the economy thanks to 22 fishing ships at the moment.
He's going to
so much idle
overgather.
time has been caused as well.
He's going to overgather and burn through that food really quick with 22. Whereas Vortex has a bit more of a stable income. The nice thing is Shoreline Fish is a lot more efficient than it has been in the past, but it's still a limited resource. Knights don't even care. They're going back in. They will finally die. But the main army is looking a bit more concerning here. I think the one problem he's going to have is Puppy Paw has just bloated so many spears.
Horsemen coming in this time. Spearmen are going to greet them though, but the massive crossbows now. And they're just immediately going for villagers as well.
It's also the speed on these bad boys, right? Like, they're actually able to kind of kite even standard spearmen. Wonder if we'll see a switch tool, like maybe just get your own spears? Nah, your opponent has archers coming. I was wondering if Springles was possible, but I guess too slow would be the concern.
Puppy Paw behind all of this though, we mentioned it, he's not behind in the economy. He's got a great amount of military units out. Vortex does have 4, should be 5 relics in the air. I'm not sure why he hasn't picked up the last one yet.
What is up with the macro as well? There's no way he's thinking of...
He hasn't seen it!
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Wait, has he not?
No,
He's not seen it?
That's the only piece he has not scored. Alright, so 4 relic gamer. Puppy Paw at this rate is going to end up Imperial, by the way. Like, this is getting a bit weird. He's pushing him back. Army size, not insignificant.
So convincing. From Vortex, and now Puppy Paw suddenly in control.
Difference the fish makes, even when you overgather. The crazy thing is, like, I don't think he has even been using the shoreline fish. He should have been forced to them by now, but he's just deep ordering constantly. Yeah, look at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
overfishing from one to the other.
I feel like at that stage, you should be maybe undergathering, right? Like, not even getting the full 40. But he's just making it work so convincingly. 140 pop versus 118. Raid hits the backside. The Knight does go in again, but Spear's quick to react. And I swear, the Agavan Spears early on, it felt like it was losing the game. These normal Spears have clutched up for him in a huge way.
And now he can go back into them. Now that he's the one applying the pressure, he can get the Armored Spearman, which can actually like dive past arrow fire. But the speed is still difficult for him to react to these horsemen. Good amount of reinforcements though. But it's just running past them.
Yeah, they're just going deeper. There's a distraction right now because there's a main engagement. Crossbow's caught in range, horseman diving deeper. Vortex, he could lose the main fight, but could win the war with a move like this. This many horsemen. They march in, they charge onto the tree line. No pull away by Puppy Paw. No reaction. Just stands his ground against it. He's too busy diving towards the main base, but it's a slow dive. That's building a huge lead for the Spaniard.
Losing so many villagers on the woodline. The ships are being pulled. All the horsemen do end up going down.
Look at the military.
But the economy has been hurt severely. And Puppy Paw, he's not exactly winning the fight at the frontier either.
I mean, that's the problem. He's now having to reset from here. Like, that was meant to be your, haha, got you now moment. You need trade for trade, blow for blow. Instead, it's a big no. Vortex gets the time. He's rebuilding into the horseman again. And it's just so frustrating when you play against HRE in these type of fights. Like, the mobility factor makes it easy for them to win the range fights, even though you've got the lead.
Paw has regrouped now.
This has to be the push.
Regression one more time.
A men-at-arms switch has begun for Vortex, but it's going to be slow. Archers and crossbows overstay their welcome. Archers get the concave, they move in. The Angevin spears lit it in, but a little bit slow means he's sacking his spearmen. Horsemen try to rotate around the flank. There is going to be a reaction there, though. The push through continues. The horsemen not able to get that underbelly. The blocks are on point. Puppy Paw fins the herd. Only 5 horsemen make it through. Shivs out from villagers on the front line. Vortex, it feels like he's holding on by a thread here. But the archer count, it is starting to thin. The Springle chips helping out a lot. It is mainly just spearmen remaining, and Puppy Paw's reinforcements are taking a long time to arrive. Demo gets a good connect. Villagers idled for Vortex, though. So not a huge eco lead behind this. It's full focus on the micro. But that boat, that Springle chip, if this was a Command and Conquer game, it would have a 3-star veterancy already. Good God. Sniping them down. Count is low. I mean, where are the spears? I'm looking at the count. There's 27 Angevin spearmen. They're not here.
On the way.
Slowly but surely. Soon. Oh, there they are. There they are. Oh, he calls out the reserves, but he's done it. He's actually done it. That is it. Puppy Paw locks it in. His first time ever thrusting an S-tier trophy. He will win 5-1 over Vortex.
And the Knights Templar remain undefeated up against the HRE and their variant civilization. Puppy Paw winning his first S-tier tournament up against Vortex. GG's all around, and what a result as well. 5-1 victory here for him. Definitely something that he has to feel very good about.
A convincing domination, right? And, you know, drowning him in spears, the way he done this as well. I mean, we've got to give him props for that. You know, we're saying the Knights came out, okay, Vortex looks pretty damn good for him. To thread that needle back into the game so convincingly, and in a situation where it felt like he was going to be over-gathering the food, where he was going to drain himself dry, to still make it work. To optimize and find that recovery arc. I mean, you just got to give him such big props to that. Puppy Paw, a well-earned victory, and does it twice, remember. He's the only person who could do it to Vortex twice in one weekend.
Indeed, I mean, Vortex, the player that just looks so strong all throughout this tournament so far, taking down Marine Lord yesterday as well. And Puppy Paw looks like he had his number all throughout today's series as well. Congratulations to him, and just goes to show, Paw is the law.
Yes. NA on top. I mean, a great way for the region to round out the year. You know, like, thinking back to the events we've had, like, S-tier tournament-wise. Trying to think, like, result-wise, it's been... Isn't it European not domination, but, like, mostly European, right? We had Louis... Yeah, Louis won the EGC Masters Summers, but then it was Marine Lord, all the others, bar the first one, which was Beastie. So... it's always inspiring to see that. Like it's someone that I'm always big on. I think we all appreciate is like how different Poppy Paw and WAM play because of their own region. We need that. It's inspiring to say that although it may be EU heavy, we've seen all 3 major regions claim at least 1 title this year.
Yeah, it just goes to show that we've got a lot of competition up here at the moment. Truly great time.
And I think it's a great time to check in with our victor. We've got Poppy Paw on the line for the final winners interview of the EGC Masters Finals. Poppy Paw, first of all, a massive congratulations on locking in your first S-tier tournament. This has been a long time coming. Run me through how it feels to finally crack that egg, because it feels like you've been grinding at this for a long time.
Yeah, it feels amazing. Obviously, there's been a lot of up and downs from here. But yeah, it feels like I finally was able to take it, which, I mean, I guess is the case, but maybe it would have been better if maybe it would have been better if I beat Marino in the finals, but I can't be too hard on myself.
What are you talking about? You beat the guy that beat Marine Lord twice.
Yeah.
All right. He was the appetizer. Vortex was the main meal, and you engulfed it. And like I got to talk to you about the difference between 2024 and 2025. Obviously you're saying you're able to commit like 3 days to a real job, and then the rest of the time that you can to doing this. It feels like sometimes you have to remind yourself it's a long journey, right? And it's not just going to all happen overnight. How was the mental state? How did you kind of approach this and not ever feeling like things were on a down spiral? Because you set such a high expectation for yourself in 2024, right? You're runner-up 2 out of the 4 main events. And then this is, of course, the first one you made in 2025's finals. Like, how did you keep pushing through this year?
Yeah, I think you made a good point there. Like, you can't be thinking about the past or the future even. You just have to focus on, like, what's right in front of you, like, every single day. Yeah, I just kind of focused on the present for all of these games, all of these matches, and when you do that, it just kind of makes everything else irrelevant, right? So just focus on playing my very best every day.
You were the only one that could beat him. What made you so different for Vortex to deal with?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I just had like a good opportunity to see kind of what he was up to, what kind of strategies he was using. I feel like, at least for me, I'm very good at adapting to people's play styles, not letting them just do whatever they want. Yeah, I kind of put him off his game when it came to civs or maps or matchups. Like I'm trying to not give him comfortable situations for sure.
I think that fits because one thing we kind of identified in the cast, it felt like every game you were winning, like you were the pressure point. Multifaceted raids, pressure. I mean, that Abasa game in particular is definitely, I think, going to be memorable for many people, especially being Sengoku the way you did. Run me through the point at which you felt this was done, right? Because you can be humble and say it was the last moment, last game, but was there a moment where you were like, okay, this is in the bag. This is my series now?
Yeah, after the ABBA game. I'm trying not to let up, because sometimes I think everybody does that, right? They're in such a good position and they just relax a little bit. But yeah, after the ABBA game, I felt super confident, obviously being up 4-1. And that's a very difficult game to win. I mean, the start did not go well for me at all. But yeah, I mean, he made a lot of... I think he had a good idea of how to play the game, but then he just made like a huge error in the mid-map, and he wasn't able to recover because I was just consistently pressuring him because I knew I was ahead.
That makes sense. I think I'd say it was almost Vortex inspired, like the first ram fails, second ram fails, third ram fails. Let's maybe try for a fourth ram, right? Like he's kind of infamous for making that work. And I mean, you played him at his own game, I want to say. But, that's the final S-tier event of the year. What's next?
Next is Red Bull, I guess. I'm looking forward to taking some time off, but yeah, I'll be practicing for all the events to come, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm looking forward to taking a break, maybe streaming a little bit, and getting ready to practice again for the next tournament.
Do you think you're going to put more hours into prepping for this one than EGC Masters Finals, like for the next event, or do you like the approach you took here?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how I'm feeling, or what I've got on my plate. But I feel confident that, yeah. No,
it works. I was just gonna say it works. You proved it, right? Like you beat people who've probably been putting in double the hours just because realistically they could. I mean, that's got to be inspiring. A great way to end 2025, I'd say.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I might not be playing the game as much as other players. Though I do still play a lot. Obviously, I'm not gonna say I don't, but I dedicate a lot of energy into thinking about the game, especially with this new draft and the new civs coming out, and so I have ways to kind of catch up to people and make sure that I'm on point with my drafts and all that.
I mean, the good thing is you're always looking for something to improve upon. I mean, some people go look and go, this freaking guy, he wins an ST tournament, he still wants things to improve upon. But you're right, like it's always an evolving game. Is there anyone in particular you want to shout out? Like, couldn't have done it without them type thing?
Yeah. You guys might not believe me, but on Friday I played versus Louis MT. This guy beat me 6-0. Maybe I was having an off day, maybe not. I don't know. But I think I learned a lot from that series. I learned a lot. So I'd like to thank him. Obviously, I'd like to thank Wham. And on the last week, I got a lot of practice with Numadon. So, and all my fans out there, of course. Law is the law. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. You laid down the law like a glorious champion. A perfect early present for yourself and for NA as it rises up to claim its title for 2025. Mate, we're going to let you go celebrate, and I'm sure we'll talk again very soon after performances like this.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
So you heard it there. We said they done it. NA finally lifted a cup, but as you heard, Crackety, it needed to be a Chinese NA alliance to topple Europe, but it worked. It worked.
What do you mean? Numadon helped as well. We got some support from EU there as well.
Oh, so we have a traitor in our midst, is what you're saying?
What I'm saying is this is also an EU victory.
You're that cop-out guy. I mean, it's we
can never lose.
It's interesting, like that type of thing, though. Like for some players, going into the weekend losing 6-0 might break them. I guess like the cool thing there from Puppy Paw is it kind of humbled him, and instead of looking for the negatives or the excuse, he was like, okay, that wasn't he won because of this. It's more how did he win and how do I solve it, which is what you want to see out of a champion.
Yeah, indeed. Man, this is just such a well-deserved victory for him. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with how this ultimately turned out.
I mean, it's well earned. Like it's, I think, what you want to see, right? Like it's something that he's been building towards basically since day one, right? He didn't come into Age of Empires 4 expecting to be a full-time pro, but he committed, he grinded through, even when there were people there that were taking it. Like I mentioned the 2024 year because I think it's so important. It was when we saw him at his peak. And yet to come back at the end of 2025 and answer like this is exactly what we want to see in a scene. We said it at the start of the day, 5 people who could take the title. My hopes is when we get to Red Bull Wallalol and we look at the things happening there, we're talking about 8, 9 players that could all frost that trophy. That's the dream.
Definitely is, and I mean, we're definitely getting there. This has been like such a great tournament when it comes to just how even the skill was, right? Like having Wham, Puppy Paw, Marine Lord, Beastie, Louis all just being so incredibly even at the moment. Vortex, Lucifer, like absolutely crazy how even the playing field is at the moment. There's just so many more upcomers at the moment as well. We got like Numadon, who's getting really good, Anatant, who has his like on and off days, but still like has some top tier performance. He's also taken down Marine Lord this time around as well in the group phase, and yeah,
you almost done it again.
More upcoming players that just it's too many to mention at the moment almost.
I mean, like, even the ones he said he scrimmed with, Louis is the obvious one, but Numadon, the moment he said that, I was like, yep, I could, like, Numu, he's always in the grind, like, he's starting to creep up there. it's an inspiring time to be an Age of Empires 4 fan, is all I'm going to say to you folks. You know, Christmas is upon us, and this is EGC's and all the players' early gift to you. Hopefully it was an entertaining one, but, you know, looking forward to the next year. Vikings coming, 2 DLCs confirmed, Wallalore happening early in the year. I mean, it feels like there hasn't been many better times to be an Age of Empires 4 fan, Crackety.
Exactly. And with just this ongoing support that's coming in from the developers, it's definitely just so many cool things to look forward to, so many cool things to just explore and experience as they come out. I'm honestly just genuinely very much excited for it, KP. And, you know, finally, I haven't been a robot today. No longer.
That's because it's only been a 2.5 hour day, Kraken.
That as well. But I finally get to enjoy the game as well again, and like I've been playing some games again today, and yeah, I've been enjoying it. And I can finally like actually play again without seeing the little connection loss screen every 10 minutes on the right hand side. So yeah, just looking forward to Age of Empires 4 in 2026 and beyond.
Absolutely. And folks, we want to thank you for joining us for this event, for the events all through the year. Every channel you've been supporting in AOE4. I mean, we're a small community. It's the reality of it, but we're a hard grinding community. And you guys, the players, the tournament organizers, everyone is what makes this scene so special. You're all critically important to its continued success. So I look forward to seeing you all returning the next EGC, the next whatever tournament's going to be in 2026. But that brings the Masters Finals to a close. Poppy Paw is your newly dubbed champion, the king of NA and the king of the world to see in Christmas. I'm sure Santa's going to have an extra big present for him. I hope he's got plenty for all of you. And we look forward to seeing you back in 2026 for more S-tier Age of Empires 4.
See you then.